Yeah! Look at that! 5-0, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Benny had to yank his headphones off and cover his little sensitive ears.
You shocked me yesterday. So,
I did. I did not mean to. I did, actually. I wanted to shock you. That's what I do every day. Welcome in, Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. What a lovely, lovely day it is to be here. Happy Tuesday to you. Let's get our heads right on an April Fool's Day. Okay? So, just so you know, it's April Fool's. I've already seen one this morning, and it got me. I'll read it to you in a moment after I introduce our cast of characters in here. I'm Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl. He is the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. I hope you are also. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you, Ben.
Good morning. It is not an April Fool's joke that the Padres are 5-0.
That's true. That is true. It is not an April Fool's joke that Gavin Sheets could be the next Barry Bonds.
Let's go, Padres.
Or as somebody so aptly named him, Dairy Bonds, which I think is a really good nickname. Man, what a fun night last night. What a fun start to the season it's been. I was telling my dad this morning, I rotate parental calls. So I do my mom one morning, then I call my dad the next day on the drive. And I like to say hello to my folks, and told my dad this morning, I go, I could get used to this. I could get used to watching a really good baseball game and then coming in the next day, doing a radio show and talking about said baseball game on the radio after a win. It's been really, really fun. It's been great. So we'll obviously get into last night. There hasn't been a game so far that hasn't been insanely weird either, right? With some funky ass plays and weird bounces and things like that. We've talked about that. And hey, like I said, you keep rolling. Bounces are going your way. Calls are going your way right now. Keep that mojo going. But listen, it is April Fool's Day. We got the company-wide email last week, which I read it and I went, oh yeah, I need to remember that it's April Fool's Day. And I did last night. Yesterday, when I saw the initial report about Jurickson Profar, the Atlanta Braves left fielder. Again, the Atlanta Braves left fielder who tested positive for HCG and is going to be banned for 80 games. It was not a source that I knew or really had heard of before. So I thought, is this dude getting the jump? Like, it's the day before April Fool's Day.
That is completely unacceptable. I'm not a big fan of April Fools to begin with.
But don't jump.
There can't be any bleed, though, into March 31st or April 2nd.
Correct.
You have to keep it to April 1st.
Correct.
Have to.
And then I woke up this morning, and 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, so 7 minutes ago, I go, whoa, this is crazy. Tiger Woods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but a few weeks after rupturing my left Achilles, the sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber, plus the explosive lifts, my doctors and trainers have me ready to play the Masters next week. I can't wait. See y'all on the course. And I went, no way. And then I went, oh. And then he tweeted just now, P.S., April Fools, my Achilles is still a mess. So Tiger Woods will not be playing in the Masters. The April Fools bit, man, we've talked about it. We talk about it every year. We're actually not allowed to play any pranks on you guys today. Not that we would. I don't like it. I don't like to feel that. Actually, it's kind of weird because I think I'm about to put Ben through the ringer a little bit, but it's not an April Fool's joke. You have no idea what this is about, right?
I don't think so.
This is not Paul, you do. I texted you the screenshots.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And I debated warning him, but I thought the reaction on the air may be better. Well, and I don't know how you're going to feel about it. And I don't know how big of a deal it was, but I got a text from our boss, Adam Klug, who he's always got his eye on the prize. Did you write an article for 10 News or like a post a blog?
So our web team actually wrote that for me,
okay,
and then put my name on it, but I didn't see it until this morning, actually.
So it says Merrill's meteoric rise, Padres star featured on bobblehead night at Petco Park. It says
it was
by Ben Higgins, posted at 3:19 p.m. yesterday. And Adam got very upset that the picture that you used was the picture that he took.
It was
of the
Jackson
I used it
in
Merrill
my story too.
Right.
Yeah.
which is fine.
Well,
which is fine.
I was going to use my own if I could take the bobblehead, but they said it was for Scraby, so I wasn't allowed to take it and use it. So I didn't have anything else to use.
Yeah, I actually requested it as
Yeah.
well, and Adam said, "No, that's Matt Scraby's."
Yeah,
and
so
I said, "Okay."
I had to use Adam's picture because I wasn't allowed to take the one that was in the studio yesterday.
So he got mad. You know why he got mad? It says photo by ABC 10 News.
Oh, that's true.
You guys
Yeah.
stole his.
I should have told someone. I didn't realize they were going to post the photo on the thing. I should have told someone that it was
there it
Adam's
is, your
picture. Yeah.
from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Ben Higgins, photo by ABC 10 News.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Do you have an old picture of you? You know how I have the one headshot that I always use?
That's my old like TV anchor head picture.
Love TV anchor head.
I don't look that
Shots.
much different though from my old picture.
No, you really
I'm
don't.
pretty much the same.
Well, since you lost the weight,
I have glasses now.
You look
Yeah.
almost identical.
Yeah, I've gone back to what I.
Let's see. There he is. Look at him. Yeah, it's the same. Look at you. Yeah, it's pretty good. That is really good. That picture is not, you don't look like the world's biggest hard ass in that picture. Do you know what I mean?
Are you supposed to in your TV anchor picture?
I'm not a
weird.
TV anchor, but I think I would have gone with something a little more smoldering than this. You look like you're looking off into a sunset. You just kind of happy. You actually look like
I'm the sports guy. I'm supposed to be happy.
No, you're supposed to look mean.
I'm not the investigative reporter who's uncovering corruption
With
the city hall with the
fedora
press
and the press thing,
the sneer, like I'm about to get you.
I'm Ben Higgins and I'm coming for you.
I like just looking out at the sea.
Yeah, that's that picture in a nutshell. So I actually had a conversation with Paulie about that. Yeah, Olin Mills. That's what it reminds me of. Olin Mills. Oh, gee. The Ben Files. Ben exposing corruption all over San Diego. I actually had a combo with Paulie about this last week. I think you had left. And I looked at Paulie and I go, you know what, dude? I said, after 15 years, for me, Paulie's at like 12 years, and you're at 20 years, 25, whatever it is. I said it might be time for us as a show to get some pictures done. And I don't want to look,
right.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I get asked.
I know, I don't either, but you're probably right.
I get asked all the time, hey, do you have a headshot? Do you have a, and I send them the one that the guy photoshopped 90% of my chin out. It's the best picture of me ever taken. I mean, you see this picture, and you're like, that's one handsome MFer right there. It's the best picture ever taken. My eyes are, he did all these enhancements, not AI. This is 15 years ago. I got this picture done. Paulie's probably has it somewhere. And if not, you've seen it. It's the only picture I use because it's the only picture I've ever looked good, ever.
Is it the ghost picture?
No, not it's the ghost. It's it's me. And then they enhanced that ghost picture. It's the original OG picture of me when my eyes are popping brown. I just look, he shaved off literally all of my gullet. I mean, I really look good. He put a dark shadow under my chins. It was
so it's not
beautiful.
really you anymore.
No, but it's a headshot. Like it looks really, really good.
Some fictional creation.
Pretty much.
That doesn't really exist.
It's the me that I've always wanted to be, is what it is. And so I told Paulie, I go, hey, man, we have to do it. We have no pictures of us as a show that are professional.
Why don't we just pick our favorite celebrities, use
them
as the pictures for us? If we're not going to use actual real pictures of us, just pick someone you like that you want to look like.
Just Tom Arnold picture or something.
No. Just pick anyone you want.
Hey, this is Ben and Woods, and I'm that guy. Who's that guy, Glenn, the real handsome guy?
Powell.
Glenn Powell. Here's Woodsy. This is Glenn Powell. Yeah, so it's that picture, Paulie. I don't know why they made my face all white like a corpse, but it's that picture with the normal color in it. And so I thought it's probably time we get some professional radio headshots and pictures. What are your thoughts on it? In, out?
You're probably right. We should do it. I'm not looking forward to it, but
I don't want to do it.
Set something up.
So I want to go back to
the problem is that we're going to do it and we're going to hate them.
And that's the thing. I do need a handful of like just default pictures that have been approved by YouTube divas that can be used on images and stuff that we do throughout the year. Because right now I have like like one to choose from.
It's horrible too. I hate them. I've never taken a good picture, so I need somebody that is.
And I have like 6 years worth of fat Ben photos.
Yeah.
But not as much.
I would like to get
New
rid of
Ben.
those as much as possible. Clearly, Kurt says Ben looks like Tom Cruise in Risky Business.
Yeah,
See, just take a picture of Tom,
Tom
Cruise
Cruise.
from Risky Business and use it for me.
You know,
Actually says Burn looks Ike.
Burn looks
Tom
like.
Cruise in Risky Business, but
Sometimes you just got to say what the F. All right, yeah, I think we need to do it at some point to like and really like kind of almost make a day out of it. Show pictures first of us doing cool stuff. I don't know what we'd be doing. I'd like to make it funny of us like running down the beach and stuff.
Maybe a Ben and Woods calendar.
Ben and Woods calendar would be pretty solid.
2026.
Sell it for charity. So yeah, man, I don't know. I it's probably time that we do it. I hate taking pictures. I got a really nice DM the other day from a professional photographer. She's really good too. She goes, "Oh my gosh, your family's so beautiful. Please let me take pictures of you guys." And it gives me instant anxiety. Instant.
do they still have those glamour shot stores at the mall?
I would do that
where
in a
you can
heartbeat.
go and
Ooh,
take
why don't we go do the
boudoir
Western
photos.
Saloon at the fair? Like the three of us as gunfighters. Ben's the sheriff. Paulie and I are the gunfighters.
So they once did that for the Padres media cover with like Kevin Towers and John Moores and Larry Lucchino, and
Yeah,
they're all
I've seen
dressed
that,
in a Western photo.
like
they're
99.
gunslingers.
How embarrassing, dude.
somewhere around, but early 2000s, I think. Yeah.
I mean, all right. So maybe we'll do it. I need it because I was featured in our show was actually featured in a local publication recently, an online magazine that my friends the Smiths run, and it was about opening day and everything else. I need to find it and I'll tweet it or whatever. But she's like, I need pictures of you guys. So I just sent her these like grainy pictures from spring training of us interviewing players because I don't really have our buddy Brian took some good ones of us in here, but even in those, I look like a whale. So he took pictures of me from the side. I'm like, Brian, you never take pictures of me from the side where the gullet is dripping and hanging. Like I said,
Steve, a behavior buddy.
it is, but it's also like, hey man, if we're gonna post stuff, let's make sure that we give it the old seal of approval. So maybe we'll get some of those.
Those were the last time we took like real shots for
Yeah.
our show.
Oh,
YouTube
Paulie,
stream.
how dare you?
Both of us holding bats. I'm in my suit. You're in just a hat and a jacket, but we're both holding bats. I'm choking up on mine like I don't know why.
Like Ty Cobb. Ben has 2 strikes on him in the bottom of the ninth.
Doesn't get any better.
Paulie, I will kill you. I hate you. Talk about April Fools. God, get that out of my sight, bro.
So is that the picture where they added 4 chins to each of us? If you have one where they took 90% away,
I swear to
we
God, this
also have
was
some where they've
I'm
added
gonna
some
die,
extra chins
dude.
on
Who
us.
did these?
I think they were done here.
By somebody
if I'm not
here.
mistaken.
Shocker.
And I think
Oh.
the big fajita.
You know
was
what?
In charge of that
For everyone
photo
who is
shoot.
not watching our YouTube stream
You're
and is
missing
listening in the
out.
car, you're missing out, and I'm so glad that you are.
You are.
Not seeing.
Look how porky you were. I don't remember you like this.
Look at your neck.
I don't remember you like this. I just
Necks, plural.
April-
I see 6 there.
April Jowls, says Dominic. Benny, I don't remember you being like that. I really don't. I have blocked it out of my mind. I don't see that in you. I always saw the skinny Ben in there.
Oh, I appreciate that.
He does look like a Sopranos promo. It really does. We will come to your house and kill you and talk sports as we do it. That is. Please get it off the screen for the love of God. I'm staring at it here. I'm begging you to get it off. I'll kill you. God. Oh, I'm sweating.
Kinda looked like a wiener with a little face on it.
Nate says D-line for Alabama. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Like, and those were the best ones that they sent me, by the way. They sent those to me. Hey, let us know if the guys approve of these. And I think I wrote back, are you insane?
Are you insane?
Are you crazy? Are you on drugs?
It's not even being a diva. It's like, hey man, I'd prefer not to look like a fat piece of ass in every picture.
I know this is a radio show, but if you have any like bad picture stories and are willing to share them with us, I would I would love to see them on this
also-
April Fool's Day.
Also, if you have any nudes, we'd love to see those as well, Ben. What a joke those pictures are. I can't believe it, man. I really can't believe it. I've never taken a good picture. I'm so jealous of everyone that's photogenic. You know how hard it is living in my house where all three people other than me are extremely photogenic and just look amazing in every picture and anything they wear. It is just impossible. So here we go. I want to talk Padres baseball today a lot. And I want to talk about Jerks and Profar as well. There's a lot to discuss today. Ben will set the menu next. But again, just a little reiteration. Today is April Fool's Day. Don't believe it. If your old lady tells you she's pregnant, if your dude tells you tells you she's breaking up with you or whatever, just don't buy the hype today. I hate this day.
It is an Incorporator Tuesday. I promise that's not an April Fool's joke.
Real.
Our first of the season. Jesse Agler will join us coming up at 8:35. We'll set the rest of the menu for the program. Glad you're with us. Very glad the Padres are 5-0. Getting into it next with Ben and Woods on a Tuesday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station. Let's check traffic with Kelly Danick. Still a little rainy out there. Be careful on our roads here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with a 200-room hotel tower, exciting.
Tell everybody what you just told us, Benjamin.
So yes, Jermaine, who works in our web staff at Channel 10, has updated the picture on our website. He says it now says photo by Adam, extra sweet, Klug 97.3.
You're joking.
So,
it really
It
says
doesn't
that.
say that.
It just says Adam Klug.
Oh, it says Adam
97.3
Klug.
the fan, but he has credit now. Adam, you have your credit
Is it extra sweet?
for your photo.
People like credit a lot.
I can understand that.
Photos I
Impulse.
kind of get, but not from
I
like
can understand.
okay, here's the thing.
it's
Adam's not a photographer.
It's not exactly, some sort of
I guess
National Geographic Pulitzer winning
It's a snow leopard.
photo.
but here's the thing. Hang on. Ben using Adam's photo on Channel 10. It's like somebody you like, and they are using your photo. Yeah, you're not getting the credit, but like they're not. They're not doing it
Maliciously.
in malicious ways. If Hannah needed a picture of, for whatever reason, for Nancaro Realty, and it was a picture that I took, I wouldn't get bitchy about that. Like, hey, where's my credit?
Well, I thought
But
Adam.
if somebody,
you don't make any.
but if one of our competitors like stole something that we did,
Sure,
it's like,
that-
hey,
you mean
F
again?
guys.
Well, Adam and I
Yeah.
kind of have an agreement that if I ever post anything that he needs for this station,
You
and-
said it yesterday
and he
to him.
posts anything that I need, we can just use it. It's like a collaboration. We can share.
Tag team.
I take advantage of that by using some of the sound that Sammy gets on Channel 10 because he does such a great job down there, and I do appreciate it. But and I always give credit though on the screen. It's a courtesy 97.3 the fan. And I put a little bug on the screen when I use it, but I do use it quite often. So-
I don't get I don't get super upset about that. Again, I don't really produce much. And so what happened? So they just write blogs for you in your name? What if the guy
Well,
was
the story was simply the words that I had written for my on-air piece.
Oh, okay.
So they were my words, but then he put it all together in
Like
a nice
blog
blog
post.
format. So yeah.
Okay. All right. That's weird how that works.
Turn the video around so it was vertical, so you can put it online. They have all kinds of social media tips and tricks that they use nowadays to make things more,
'Cause-
viral and postable and whatever.
Because when I saw it from Adam immediately, I thought this whole gist of it was look at Ben out here writing blogs for Channel 10. And I started laughing. And I wrote back question mark. And he goes, he used my picture. He didn't credit me. I go, oh, fireable, by the way, is what I told him. He goes, I just thought you could bust his chops about it. I go, oh, I'll bust his chops about it. for
Darnay
sure."
would never do that.
Darnay would never
Yeah.
do that. The
course not.
Lord of original content.
All right, here's what we got coming up on the program today. We will start with our Padres Grap Up in our next segment when we will go through the highlights.
Did
of
we
last
ever get
night's
that? Do we know if he said graph up, Paulie?
7-2 win over the Cleveland Guardians. Big night for Gavin Sheets, of course. Kyle Hart, great story. Our Padres Grap Up.
The graph up. is so
Our Padres Grap Up.
good. Yeah, Padres graph up.
That's our new name for it.
Yeah.
We've always looked for a better name than Padres Wrap Up. We don't have it. It's
Yeah.
the Grap Up.
Padres graph up.
We will talk about Jurickson Profar being suspended for 80 games. We have sound from Mike Schilt. His reaction to hearing the news just moments after he heard it before the game yesterday. And obviously, I'm sure it was stunning to some people in that clubhouse yesterday. You could see how much they care still for Jurickson when he was here with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. Did they ask
for the
anybody
first
else
series.
about it?
I did not see
I
any
didn't
any other quotes about it. I did see some quotes about the new torpedo bats from players around the Padres clubhouse yesterday, and we'll get some thoughts on that and whether the Padres will be experimenting with the Yankees torpedo bats. Ellie De La Cruz was using one yesterday, hit 2 home runs. I mean, the more success you see in Major League Baseball with those bats, the more guys that will have to feel like I need to try this at least.
I will I'll fill you in on it as soon as mine arrives in
Uh-huh,
5 to
I knew
7
it.
business days.
How much do they cost?
Don't worry about the
Okay.
cost. My wife's listening. So you don't ask dumbass questions like that as my wife is listening. It's what a
$29, right?
It's what a wood bat
I
costs.
looked. It was a standard.
I mean,
wood
it's just
bat.
made
What
out of
would bat
wood
cost?
just because the shape is
It was
different.
actually cheaper than like the
way more
Fernando
expensive.
Tatis Jr. model.
When you hit as many balls off the end of the bat as I do, you tend to break a lot of bats. So now that I have this one, Dominic says, aren't they specifically designed to each player? Yeah, but I'm not going to go get a cut. I'm not going to have somebody come out. It's just I have one game a week.
Hires an MIT grad
to come out and watch me like, bro, you're terrible. I don't know. We can give the whole bat can be one big barrel.
To have them move the barrel way down to the end of the bat as opposed to like a really bulbous like end.
I can't wait to see it and get it, and I'll do like a video of me like hitting front toss with it or something just so to show you. But I'm imagining you're going to see it a lot in adult leagues across the country because we always need a little bit of edge when you're old and slow. But no, it looks incredible. I mean, it looks incredible. And again, it's working. Guys are seeing it. And you know, the other thing I thought about too, Benny, if you think that it's going to help you, there's a decent chance it will. Does that make sense? It's a lot of that is mental. If you feel like I've got a little bit of an edge, whether I'm pitching or whether I'm hitting, you have one. If you think you have one, you have one. And I think that has a lot to do with it too.
I also want to ask the question coming up in the 7:00 hour. How much are you buying in to this fast start by the San Diego Padres? I mean, you look at early records and, you know, you can say they don't mean anything. The Dodgers 6-0. Well, we kind of believe that.
Yeah, we thought that was going to happen.
The Angels are 3-1.
Crazy.
Not really buying into like a huge surprise season by the Angels so far. How much are you buying into this Padres 5-0 start? It certainly looks good on the field, but is it sustainable? Will we be seeing a great season from your San Diego Padres based on what we've seen so far? We'll talk about it. As I mentioned, Jesse Agler will join us, his weekly Tuesday segment for the Incorporator and Talking Padres Baseball with the voice of the Padres at 8:35. And, of course, all of our regular features like Don't Do This, Take On Woods, and the Roundel Report to get you to 10 o'clock this morning. That's what we've got on the program for you today.
I look forward to it.
Me too.
And I really look forward to the Grap up next.
Coming up next, all the highlights from Jesse and Tony last night. Stay tuned. Ben Woods continuing next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Did they just say it was National Acai Bowl Day? You like
right?
acai?
I love an acai bowl.
You do like acai.
Yeah, I'll eat it. I can't decide, is it healthy or not?
It's a superfood.
I hear that too, but if you slather it with all the things that come in it, like chocolate chips and
Peanut butter.
fruit and peanut butter, is it really,
I
is
don't
it
know.
I
healthy for
usually
you
get
or
the
is
standard,
it not?
the purple acai
Yeah.
Just because
stuff,
something
and then
is
some strawberries,
high-
some blueberries, some
so
granola.
just because something may be high in calories doesn't mean it's bad for you. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, it may not be the best option for you. But if you're looking for good, natural, healthy ingredients and vitamins and stuff that you want to get from fruit, and then of course fruit is always good for you. It's just not good for people who are sometimes trying to watch their weight.
I'm skeptical of it. And I'm skeptical of it because it's really the only thing my 4-year-old likes to eat is acai bowl.
fair.
So
It's fair.
if he likes it, then how is that good for you? I think he looks at it like ice cream. But I've had it. I like it. I never remember to order it. Now, I like smoothies a lot, though. I really love smoothies. And I realize it's a lot of sugar. But I'm like, all right, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. I really don't know.
See, I make a smoothie. I haven't made one in a couple of weeks, but I usually would have 2 or 3 a week in the mornings.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but fruit, a scoop of Greek yogurt, some protein powder.
Put a little spinach in there.
No, I do it's like a tropical fruit smoothie.
Delicious.
I'm not adding. It's just the natural sugar in the fruit.
Right.
I
And,
put a little
which it's
spinach
still
in mine.
Sugar, because fruit has sugar. So if you're trying to watch your weight, it's a lot of calories, but it's good for you.
Yeah. All right. I eat a lot of fruit.
Like I'll put a scoop of protein powder in the smoothie,
Sure.
and you're like, that's a meal replacement, essentially, like a lunch or something.
I like, yeah. But if pressed, I'll take a smoothie over an acai bowl.
Okay. All right. Let's
Especially one from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Why? Simply the best.
All right, let's check traffic, and then we'll come out with our Padres wrap up with Tony and Jesse next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by your local San Diego County, the UPS stores. Well, no incidents, no accidents, no surprises on our roads at this time, meaning, of course, you're going to start seeing some of the usual slowing in the usual spots. Yeah, we're looking at US 52 heading out of Santee. Coronado Bridge was backed up earlier, heading over to the island, but looks like things have smoothed out nicely, so really no delays for you there. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from April 7th through April 15th. 50% off shredding services. Visit theupsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
A little battle here. Pitch number 6 coming, and a swing and a miss. So Kyle Hart strikes out the first guy that he faces in a Padre uniform. And it's one of the tougher guys to strike out in all of baseball, Stephen Kwan.
Exclusive class.
3-2, launch to left field. Hayward going back. He's at the wall. All he can do is watch that. Is a home run for Jose Ramirez, his first hit of 2025. So the Guards will take a 1-0 lead with 1 out in the top of the first inning. Bogarts, Cronenworth, and Merrill all aboard. First pitch coming. High line drive to right field. That one is off the wall. Noel plays it well, sends it back in, but 2 runs going to score. Sheets standing at second base, and the Padres lead it 2-1. 1-1 in the air to right field. Noel was deep. He goes back right in front of the warning track, makes the catch. Plenty deep to get Xander home from third. Sheets will also tag in advance. A sac fly for Hayward, and the Padre lead is 3-1. 2-2. Hard hit on a line. Into left center field, down for a base hit. Sheets will score. Tatis another hit. This one makes it 4-1 San Diego. Here's the 1-0. Hedges swings, hits one a mile in the air down the left field line. Hayward backing up towards the corner. He looks up. It's going to go. Second balcony Western medal for Austin Hedges. Welcome back to San Diego. 3-2 again. Sheets lines it the other way. That is a fair ball down the left field line. Going to bounce and roll into the corner. Cronenworth has scored. Bogarts has scored. Sheets into second with another 2-run double. His third hit of the night. And the Padre lead is 6-2. Hayward swings, hits it in the air to deep right center field. Noel is back at the wall, off the wall. First hit is a Padre for Hayward. He's into second base with an RBI double. He's knocked in 2, and the Padre lead is 7-2. On their feet at Petco as Hedges hits a little number to the left of the mound. Wandy gloves it, sets himself, fires to first in time. Peralta closes the door, and for the first time in 57 years of baseball, the Padres open the season 5-0.
Feels great. I mean, listen, it's a good ball club. Off to a good start, clearly. Playing really good baseball across the board. Pitching, congratulations to Kyle getting his first big league win. Solid 5, doing all phases. The pitching, the bullpen's been great. Situational hitting, defense, base running, everything's on point.
Woo! So I looked back the last couple of seasons, and last year, Padres didn't win 5 in a row until late June.
Crazy,
just
man.
before the All-Star break.
Crazy.
Of course, in 2023, they didn't win 5 in a row until late September.
Yeah, man.
At the end of the year, they didn't win 4 in a row until late September. They have gotten it done, and the calendar hadn't even turned to April yet with their first 5-game winning streak. I mean, usually the season, and when I was growing up, season didn't even start until April.
Yeah.
Now here we are, April 1st, and it's not an April Fool's Day joke. The Padres are sitting at 5-0 to start the Major League Baseball season.
It's pretty incredible. I had them at 84 wins, so 79 more. Yeah, and with 150, really bad at math, 7 to go. I like it. I mean, this has been a really, really fun. It's been a really fun 5 days, obviously, and there's so many more baseball games to play, Benny. But I think, let's be honest, man. The coolest thing, at least for me, is watching different guys contribute every night. And it's watching guys contribute in different and special ways. And it's watching, like, I look at this team right now, and again, I don't have the panic that makes me feel like we're out of a game. I like what I'm seeing. And really, I like these guys are having a blast, man. They're really having fun playing baseball, even when they make a mistake, and they've made plenty in 5 games. They've made plenty. They're not beating themselves up about it. They don't look like, oh my God, I've just ruined. We saw such bad body language for a couple of years here. Now, man, if they make a mistake, they're smiling, they're laughing. They realize I got to flush it and move on to the next one. They're doing it defensively. They're doing it on the base paths, and they're doing it with the sticks. And really, first time through the rotation, they're doing it with the arms, and I mean every arm other than Omar Cruz. Everybody is contributing to these wins.
Yeah, Kyle Hart, gave up the home run, not a crime, to Jose Ramirez in the first inning.
That's not a crime. The next one was an actual crime. He's suspended for 30 days.
It was a little tough to see Austin Hedges go deep at Petco Park again, but it didn't matter. That was it for the runs. You give up solo shots. How many times do we say it? You hear baseball broadcasters love to say it, but it's true.
It's absolutely
solo
true.
home runs are not the end of the world.
It's actually, think about it. If a guy gets a hit off you on a 3-2 count, and then you walk the next guy, and then it's 2-0 to the guy after that. You've thrown 12 pitches. You got 2 guys on. Guy hits a single. It's 1-0. Might as well just throw 1 pitch and let a guy hit a 1 home run.
You're not working out of the stretch. Right. You're not in a high leverage situation all inning. You can just go right back to the windup, stay in your rhythm, and keep moving. So in many ways, other than the run you give up, a solo home run is not the worst outcome for a pitcher.
Nope.
And when you've got an offense that can pick you up, like the Padres did for Kyle Hart, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts from your number 5 starter. There's not a team in baseball other than the Dodgers that would not take that from their number 5 starter. Of course, they get 7 shutout and 8 strikeouts from their 5th starter. But every other team in baseball would be more than happy with what Kyle Hart gave the Padres last night. And then the offense, the 4-run bottom of the 2nd inning, tying their biggest inning of the season from opening day with Gavin Sheets leading the way. And he's, to me, the story of the game last night, and has been in many ways one of the biggest stories for the Padres here in the first week of the season. The pickup from the guy that was let go by the worst team in baseball history, the Chicago White Sox last year. That is not something you write on the first line of your resume. Yeah, I played for the worst team in baseball history, and they thought I wasn't good enough to be on their team, and they let me go for nothing. So I latch on with the San Diego Padres, and now, like you said, look like the next coming of Barry Bonds here in the first week of the season. 3 for 3, 4 more runs batted in, 2 runs scored. He's hitting .500 with a almost 1,400 OPS so far this season out of the 7-hole for the San Diego Padres. That's ridiculous.
Gavin Sheets, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Dylan Cease. Is there a White Sox fan out there that's just like, I hate San Diego so much?
No, I think they're saying I hate the Chicago White Sox more than anything. It's not San Diego's fault. It's absolutely.
Do you have anybody else you guys want to get rid of?
How about Luis Robert, right? Like, we'll take him,
we'll rescue him,
and he'd fit in really nicely on this team.
And I was talking on opening day, I think it was, with Kyle Glazier, and he said, this is not so surprising for me. The White Sox are a bad organization.
Yes.
And they don't.
He did it. Yes, he did a podcast yesterday talking about the same thing.
And I think it was the same topic. And he said to me in the press box that the White Sox just aren't getting the most out of their players. And the Padres they used to be a bad organization, but now they're considered a good organization that has found ways to get better production out of players, better production out of pitchers, thanks to Ruben Niebla and the pitching lab and everything that they've done there. And now better production out of hitters as well. Give Victor Rodriguez some of the credit, Mike Schilt, whoever you want to give the credit. AJ Preller ultimately is the man responsible.
And his team scouts. There was somebody tweeting about it last night, how hey, listen, this fully goes to what's his name? DeYoung?
Pete DeYoung.
Yeah. Pete DeYoung and his
the pro
staff.
scouting department for the Padres does an excellent job.
They went and saw something in Gavin Sheets and said, hey, man, he's a tick away. Let's get him in here for nothing and see if we can get this guy to buy in. And he absolutely did. And I'll go back to his quote. I'll go back to his brilliant interview with Gwen and Chris when he talked about, man, you work your ass off in the morning at spring training for 4 hours and you're feeling so good. You go out and you K and you roll one over. It's hard. It's really hard to trust in that 4 hours that you put in and believe it's the right thing. Hitting's really, really difficult. And he looks right now, Benny, like there's not a pitch you can get by him. He's seeing it up. He's seeing it down. The 3-2 ball that he hit down the line in left field. Did you see the slow-mo where he just – Eric Burns described it one time as, when I got 2 strikes on me, it's a little bit crass, but he said, I just wanted to put my D on the plate. You're not getting it by me. I'm putting my D on the plate, and I'm going to fight up here. And if you saw the slow-mo last night of the hit down the line, did you see his head? It was staring just straight down like, I'm not getting beat here.
So much so that I think he thought he fouled it off.
I think he
because
did.
He was kind of surprised when
he saw it
fair
go down the line.
Because he was so locked in just to making sure that, hey, I'm making contact here. We're doing something with this ball. But, yeah, I know. He was locked in. And he's been locked in for the start of the season through 5 games for the Padres. Will it keep up?
His average exit velo through 5 games is 96 miles an hour. He is catching barrel after barrel. And I cannot believe that ball he hit last night did not get out of the yard. Coincidentally, was not tracked. His exit velo on the ball that he hit off the line. I mean, it looked like it was 150 miles an hour off the bat. They didn't get it, and I don't know how or why.
I know that the Guardians hit the 2 home runs. It was a really bad night to try to hit a home run, especially to right field at Petco Park. Misty, cold, rainy. I think the wind was not helping that direction. Jason Hayward, when he hit his,
he thought it was
Jason Hayward's hit a lot of home runs. Played baseball a long time. I could tell from his body language, he was 100% sure he had hit a home run for his first Padre hit. Now, he still made it to second, double RBI. It was a good piece of hitting. He was, I don't know if he admitted it afterwards. I'm sure he was shocked that ball didn't go out. But that is March and April at Petco Park.
Yeah, welcome to Petco, man.
That's what you're usually going to get. Last year was a little weird for, like, the opponents were
yakking
hitting home runs
early
in the season. I don't know. I think that was kind of just an anomaly. You're not going to see the ball travel, especially to right field, especially early in the season at Petco Park.
It was good to see Unk, they call him Unk get a knock last night. Jason Hayward. Again, cannot hate that guy. I just can't. You will not get me to hate Jason Hayward. He has been, again, off to a little bit of a slow start. To watch him get in the mix last night was pretty cool. I love that for him. But Gavin Sheets, I'm watching the game last night going, hey, man, move him up. Move him up. Move him up to the 5 hole, right? Like, why not?
Or do you mess with a good thing?
I know. It lengthens your lineup, certainly.
I think when we get into our discussion next hour about is this for real? Is this sustainable? A lot of that question hovers around Gavin Sheets, because if he does continue to hit well, I mean, he's not going to hit 500, but if he continues to hit well all season long, it really does change the Padres lineup
big time.
Wherever you put him, it is now a long, deep lineup.
Yeah,
for the San Diego Padres. Manny 3 hits, Tatis 2 more hits. They both look really solid to start the season. And Jackson Merrill just went 1 for 4, but on his bobblehead night. But he was, 3 times he hit the ball very hard exit velocity. Did not get much luck. He hasn't really had much luck all season.
I know.
He's still hitting .412 so far this year without much luck when he's put the ball into play.
Speaking of unlucky, Luis Arraez had what I thought was a sure hit and a brilliant play by the shortstop. Brilliant play to get him and throw him out. Did get a knock, tried to stretch it into a double. It's not going well for him right now, but again, my level of concern is at a 0 with Luis Arraez. We'll be all right.
And the bullpen continues to get the job done. We'll have more Padres talk for you coming up in our next hour. Also want to hear the reaction to the Jerks and Profar news. I think we were all pretty stunned yesterday when we heard about the 80-game suspension. We'll get to that. And don't do this. All in hour number 2 of Ben and Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I really hate, and I feel like a bad person.
Dodger fans.
No.
Oh.
That my first instinct when I heard the news about Jurickson and Profar yesterday was to kind of go, whew, dodged a bullet there. And it's such a bad.
I'm with you.
It's so bad to think that, because we love Jurickson.
We do.
And I actually wish for his success other than when he plays the Padres. And it's just terrible news. It's terrible news for him and baseball and the Braves. And this just doesn't feel good for anyone. But my first, and I wonder if Padres fans, if you out there shared the same thought, was, oh man, glad they didn't spend the $42 million or whatever to sign him and keep him this offseason and then have to deal with him out. Not only 80 games, as they announced, Major League Baseball announced his 80-game suspension for testing positive for a banned substance, not technically a steroid, but a masking agent, a
testosterone
HCG,
producer, booster.
So when you take, just to Bensplain quickly, and I'm not a bodybuilder or steroid expert.
You're not?
But as I understand
I feel duped.
As I understand it, when you go through like a cycle of steroids to artificially increase your testosterone, then you go off of it. Your body is not going to produce as much testosterone itself. And that is one of the signals that tells the testers that you've been taking steroids. It's very hard to detect the actual steroids, but your lower testosterone count is a clear sign that you've been doing something you shouldn't be doing. So players will then take this HCG to get their body to start producing it again so they won't get popped in the testing. And when they detect the HCG, it's a sign, okay, you must have been doing something. It's one of the only ways they actually can catch players who have been doing steroids. Now, Jurickson, released his statement through the Major League Baseball Players Association. Braves fans, today is the most difficult day of my baseball career. I'm devastated to announce that I have been suspended for 80 games by Major League Baseball and the Commissioner's Office for testing positive for a banned substance this offseason. This is especially painful for me because anyone who knows me, has seen me play, knows I am deeply passionate about the game. There's nothing I love more than competing with my teammates, being a fan favorite. I want to apologize to the entire Braves organization, my teammates, and the fans. It is because of my deep love and respect for this game that I would never knowingly do anything to cheat it. I have been tested my entire career, including 8 times last season alone, and have never tested positive. I would never willingly take a banned substance, but I take full responsibility and accept MLB's decision. I'm devastated I won't be on the field with my teammates for the next 80 games. I look forward to competing again at the highest level this season upon my return. Of course, even after he returns, Jurickson Profar is no longer eligible for the postseason this year. That is part of any steroid suspension in baseball. So if the Braves do bounce back from their 0-5 start now, as they lost again to the Dodgers last night, Jurickson wouldn't be able to be in the playoffs with them this year either.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many layers to this with Jurickson Profar, and really any guy that gets popped for any banned substance. We've heard every excuse in the book. As someone that had to take HCG when we were trying to get pregnant, I was on testosterone through the Total T clinic, right? For years, talked about it on the old station. And, our fear was, oh no, you're not going to be able to get pregnant. So yeah, take some HCG, you take it very little bit and you just kind of pinch your fat and you shoot it in. Doesn't hurt. It's nothing. And I did it 5 days a week for like 5 weeks. And we came back, tested, and everything was fine. And then had the kids. So I got 2 beautiful boys because of it. It helped produce testosterone again. But look, my suspicion is this. My suspicion is that a lot of guys try to beat the system in the off season. My suspicion is that Jurickson Profar told us and everybody, man, I'm beat. I'm gassed. My knee is shot. I'm playing on one leg essentially after the season. Hits free agency and says, I'm going to do a little cycle to get my body back and recovered so that I can lift again and run again and do all the things I need to do. And then finishes the cycle, takes some HCG to build that testosterone up again, and then gets popped for it. What I was a little confused about is they said he was tested in the off season. Now, I don't know when that happened. You're telling me that test wasn't in before opening day? It wasn't. You let him play 4 games?
It's quite possible, and I believe this was the case when Fernando Tatis Jr. It's quite possible they've known about this for a few weeks. It takes a while for Major League Baseball to make the announcement. Jurickson may have been aware of it for a while, and they don't tell the commissioner's office. I think the players' union, they contact the player first, and they say, hey, this is coming. And he probably did know that this was going to
come.
A
terrible
very
feeling,
awkward
man.
way to start the season, knowing that this is hanging over your head, which I believe was the case with Tatis as well, that it was kind of hanging over his head for a little while before it becomes officially announced and the suspension kicks in. So that's possible. Why the timing of it and how it worked. But
now when he says I would there's no other way to take HCG without
not
injecting.
That I saw. I mean,
you can't really say I would never knowingly put something into my body. Bro, you're putting a needle into your body,
into your belly, essentially.
Like,
is where you put it.
It's him. It's Rafael Palmeiro. It's anybody in the span of baseball history that's ever said I didn't knowingly put this on, but when you put a needle into your body,
and we were all
unless that's the team doctor, what are you doing?
We were all kind of confused why they went out and got Verdugo, and what the depth piece for them or whatever. No, I mean it like you said, they probably
traded for an outfielder yesterday.
Yeah, traded for an outfielder yesterday. An hour
before that news came out.
Again, I don't know, man. If here's the way I look at it. And of course I saw Dodger fans taking some weird victory lap about Will Smith yesterday, and that's fine. I mean, I think had he popped last year, he would have popped. He didn't. Whatever he did, I'm not saying he didn't do it in the preseason. I'm just saying he didn't fail a drug test when he was with San Diego Padres. He failed a drug test when he was with the Atlanta Braves. It's the Atlanta Braves problem.
I see what you're saying. You can't call into question every number prior to a positive test from every player who was ever tested positive.
Well, think about and it's funny coming from the Dodgers, right? It's really funny coming from them, who have taken more scrap heap guys. And then they've had career years when they got to LA. Not one of those guys do I look at and go, oh, you were clearly juicing. Max Muncy, Chris Taylor. How many guys have they brought in off the scrap heap, cast away? Trace Thompson. Bro, there's a dozen of those guys. I don't think they're juicing in LA. I don't think they're juicing in LA any more than any other team juices. I just think sometimes guys do figure it out a little bit and get on a roll.
Yeah, but let's not be naive. There have been some, I'm sure, athletes who have completely, innocently, and mistakenly used a product that they thought was approved, or for whatever reason, were given something that they were told was 100% fine, and it caused a positive test. But it would be naive to think that the majority, or not to think that the majority of people who have tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs did so because they were doing performance-enhancing drugs.
Correct.
They're still pervasive from everything we've heard. I think you agree with this. They're still fairly pervasive and prevalent in professional sports.
I got a text from somebody in the game yesterday that said, you'd be. I have a friend that's a bodybuilder, and he knows a lot about this stuff. And he's the first guy I reached out to, and he goes, man, the way that protocols are set up, they don't want guys to get popped. He goes, every time I see a guy get popped, it makes me literally question, did they want to get caught? Because that's how really easy it is to get around this stuff in professional sports, not just baseball, in a lot of professional sports. So I don't know, man. The thing and Janine makes a good point in the chat. She says, after watching Tatis go through what he went through, I can't believe Profar decided to do it too. Profar had to be the liaison between Tatis and his mad teammates. Yes, I have the sense that Jurickson Profar, when he blocked us years ago, was mad at us for talking about Tatis and how Tatis kind of let the team down in their hour of need. I really feel that way. He was there through all of it. Now, what I want to talk about, though, and what I talked to this former big leaguer about yesterday was risk reward. Does it suck getting banged for 80 games? Yes. Does he still going to make the majority of that contract? Yes. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. The risk versus reward is amazing. It's amazing.
Put another way. If Jurickson could go back and be given the choice, hey, You will get tested. You will get popped. You will face an 80-game suspension, but you get to keep your 24 home run season and the contract you signed with the Braves. Or you can go back in time, not do it, and be clean, and no one will ever suspect you. But you'll also hit 240 with 7 home runs.
You'll make $1 million.
And you'll make another $1 million with the Padres next year. Which one do you want to take?
He'll take the 80.
I think any
again,
one of us.
If we're going off the timeline of him juicing in the off season, he had already got his bag.
Yeah, but
I mean
that
and
it's not like
but everyone's
you're going to
everyone will
have a career year.
Everyone will question the numbers from last year.
Of course, they're going to question the
course.
numbers. But again, here's what I'm saying.
Will we know for sure? No, we will never know for sure unless he wants to tell us, completely everything that happened. But maybe he was clean last year. Maybe he wasn't.
Correct.
We don't know, and we will question it now because, well, those numbers were pretty big and nominally for someone who was over 30 years old and had never done it in his career.
I won't
before.
question it. You know why I won't question it? Because he didn't test positive, right? Like he didn't. If he tested positive, okay.
You don't see a scenario where the previous offseason, knowing he had just come off a bad year, hey, I need to do something to get ready for this next season, went through his cycle, but, didn't test because, as you said, guys know how to get around the testing and made it through. He got through a great season, signed his contract, and goes, hey, but my knee's hurt. I want to make a good impression on my team. It worked last year. Just going to go through that simple cycle right at the beginning of the offseason again, and then I'll be done. Get my, HCG,
and he timed it wrong.
I won't take it during the year again and do what I did last year. And he timed it wrong, and he got popped. There's certainly evidence that would support that conclusion.
If your evidence is just a good season, then I can't agree with you because guys have had good seasons.
Of course.
The
problem is we will never know and people will suspect now.
Correct. But you said there's evidence. There's no evidence. He didn't because he hit 24 home runs. If he,
that's enough for some people.
For some people, but it shouldn't be for you who's logical.
Well, if he hadn't tested positive, I would have certainly never gone there. But because he tested positive in the offseason immediately after his great season, yes, I'm going to at least acknowledge that possibility.
The argument, though, that Paulie made too, and I always go back to A-Rod, who was a monster in Seattle, signs the big deal with Texas. And according to him, and again, take him at his word or don't, he goes, that's when I started. The pressure of this wasn't a $250 million contract Jurickson signed, but it was a lot more money than he's made. Hey, man, I'm going to a contender, a team that's really, they need me and they want me and they're going to pay me. I got to make sure my body's right. The fact of like, hey, man, you got your bag. Why would you do it then? That's kind of exactly why in my mind he did it, is to like, hey, I want to make sure I come out swinging and my body's right.
At face value, it makes more sense to me, at least, to if anybody's going to juice, it's going to be going into a contract year, not right after you sign and get your bag.
But the thing is, though, would you want to risk it going into a contract year knowing if I get popped now, I probably get nothing next year, right? Then I'm really damaged goods. Like, it does make sense in my mind of, I just signed this big deal. The pressure's on. Like when we got a raise here, it didn't make me go, time to cruise. It made me sick to my stomach. Like I was like, oh God, we got to perform now.
And honestly, maybe he didn't do anything wrong. Maybe Tatis really did get tainted ringworm cream. You know what? It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't.
Sweet kid.
It doesn't change my opinion really that much of either guy. I love Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yep.
He's back on the field.
Yep.
He's doing what he does. He energizes the team. Jurickson will come back after 80 games. I would hope he will still find a way to become a fan favorite in Atlanta like he was here. It's going to be It's going to be harder, obviously, for him, but there's no reason he can't. He didn't commit a crime. It wasn't a crime.
He's not going to jail.
He skirted some rules, as all athletes do in all sports. Got caught. He's now facing the punishment for getting caught. It's his responsibility to follow rules, and when you don't, you face the consequences.
Yeah.
Sometimes the consequences are, hey, you know what? You swung at a pitch and missed. You're out. This time the consequences are an 80-game suspension. Once you deal with that, I'm willing to absolutely move on. And again, I still respect Jurickson Profar.
I love him still.
I think he's a phenomenal guy and a player.
Great teammate.
And I'm not saying that we should forever shame Jurickson Profar and cast him as some sort of image of what's wrong with a game of baseball. He's
Made me
not.
sad.
He's not.
It made me sad. Yeah,
it's
it made me sad.
It's a sad story. It's a bummer for him. It's a bummer for the Braves. It's probably we dodged a bullet moment for the San Diego Padres because they did, we were thinking about re-signing him, and that would have been money not well spent at the moment with him unable to play for half a season in the playoffs this year. That would have been tough for the San Diego Padres facing budgetary restrictions. Maybe wouldn't have been able to sign Pavetta and other players that they probably needed more.
It would have killed us. I mean, today coming in talking about a Jurickson Profar suspension as a member of the San Diego Padres. Is this not a good lesson for Jurickson? Bro, just stay here and play. Every time you try to go somewhere else, something terrible happens. I mean, again, I'm not going to fault the guy for getting his money and everything else. But, yeah, now he's suspended without pay, can't play in the playoffs. The way that they're going right now, I don't know that they make the playoffs. They just lost Ronaldo Lopez yesterday. He's on the IL. I mean, they're banged up. They haven't won a game. They got smoked again last night. It's a rough time for a Braves fan right now. Can I change my pick, by the way? Will you guys let me?
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
I'll take the field.
People in the chat asking the questions. Does he still get paid? No, he does not. He will lose half of a season of salary, which will be what? Lose $4 million or so, but he'll still make the other $38 million on the contract that he signed, assuming he doesn't test positive again. I think Alyssa asked, can he still be around the clubhouse in the dugout? No, he cannot. I think there's like a time, like 3 hours before the game or something. He can go to the ballpark early in the day if he needs to get anything.
Tatis was there, like getting work.
Yeah, but then he has to leave, whatever it is, like 3 hours
opened,
before the gates open. You have to be gone, and you can't be there with your team during, after the game at all. You just got to go watch from home or whatever and not be part of your team for those 80 days.
And again, I saw people saying, oh, man, Preller must have known something. No, I just don't think they had the $40 million to pay him. I really don't. But again, it does feel, and I'm with you, that's a human reaction, Ben, to feel like, I'm better them than us. It absolutely is. It's a totally normal reaction, better them than us.
And Luis, I'm not being a real D-hole to Profar. I really don't feel like I'm casting any judgment.
I don't think
all.
so either. You're not a judgy guy.
He violated the rules. The rules are clear, facing his suspension, and then we move on after that.
Yep.
All right, let's take time out. That was obviously a don't do this-y topic on the segment before Don't Do This, but we'll get into actual DDT coming up next. What'd you got? Anything you want to get to?
Just all of the fun.
The A's rough first day in Sacramento.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
I think we can get to that as part of DDT when we come back after a check of traffic. Bennett Woods on 97.3 The Fan. First, I want to tell you about SDFatloss.com. No injections, so no chance of, accidentally triggering a positive test for anything with SDFatloss.com. It's just based on eating real foods you get at the grocery store, not buying shakes or bars or mixes, following their proprietary strategies. Your counselor going to lay it all out for you, support you every step of the way, and you can lose weight fast, up to a pound of fat per day, up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days on the SDFatloss.com program back in the summer of 2023. I have kept that weight off now nearly 2 years later because it's sustainable. No exercise required either while you're losing the weight. Just follow the program. You can do it as well, and do it now before the summer season hits. The weather is about to get nice in a few days. You get it in shorts and T-shirts. You can lose weight and feel great. And, be outside and love the summer after you've lost the weight. Just get your free consultation by going to SDFatloss.com. Take advantage of the spring special right now. Get $200 off the program by going to SDFatloss.com. That's SDFatloss.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Brought to you by Trust and Will. No.
Don't.
I just asked, are you ready? Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more.
I thought you meant, are you ready for don't do this? I was like, yeah, I'm ready.
No,
I
I
got
meant,
my
are
story.
you ready for your role in me reading the sponsor?
All right, so it's a new thing now. All right, we'll do it.
All right, I will start in our state capital, Sacramento, California, where if you squinted a little bit, you might have thought, the A's had a decent offseason. You know, they signed Luis Severino, they extended Brent Rooker, try to get a little momentum with 3 years in a minor league ballpark coming up. And then they played the first game in Sacramento. Couldn't have really gone much worse for the A's yesterday.
Starting with the picture that leaked online of their
leaked. I mean,
not leaked, they just posted. It's not leaked, yeah.
So the corrugated metal shed,
a tough shed
down the left field line that serves as their media room. I don't know if that's better or worse than the double wide trailer the Chargers had us in for more than a decade.
I went to that once.
Did you go to the Chargers trailer, the media trailer?
My old show made me go and watch practice and go in and ask a question of Norv Turner, and I almost soiled myself. I was so nervous.
I wonder if I was there that day.
You probably were.
Oh,
it was the most innocuous turd question you've ever heard. And he answered it fine.
The shed's pretty bad. Bernie Wilson will never forgive the Chargers because he had to work all day there, essentially sitting in a trailer because they wouldn't let media in their actual building. You're too good for the media there at the Chargers. But so they got the shed, not a great look. The clubhouses are way down beyond the outfield, not fun for especially opposing teams are not going to like going to Sacramento. Then the game starts, taking on the Cubs. By the way, the next two opponents for the Padres, the Cubs and the A's on this upcoming road trip. And in the very first inning, Cubs hit back-to-back home runs, score like 4 runs, so they're behind right away. And then the chants start, let's go Oakland. There's T-shirts that say, "I'd rather be at the Oakland Coliseum," and you even got to sell the team chant in the bottom of the sixth when the Cubs were leading 16-3 with John Fisher still wearing it after moving his team. A rough start for the Athletics for their stint in Sacramento, however long it lasts.
Yeah, many people are they're still even questioning the move to Vegas, and that's the worst part for me is this actually going to happen? Are they actually going? Is he going to get to the friendly confines of Las Vegas, Sin City, where everything is forgiven? He can huddle up in a penthouse mansion, penthouse condo, and say, "Okay, we finally made it." But if he does, Ben, it's going to be 3 long seasons at least, them playing in Sacramento. I got friends going up to the game next week to go see the Padres play in that little ballpark. It's going to be a weird experience for those guys. I don't know that it's going to be any worse than going to Oakland as far as the facilities. I've heard the facilities there were
minor
terrible.
league games are plenty fun to go to.
Sure.
Every seat's good. I mean, there'll be benefits for the fans, I would imagine, to going to a game there, especially when it's not in the middle of the summer. So if you're ever going to go, not a bad week to go see the Padres and the Athletics.
I love this story I saw yesterday. Woody Johnson, who owns the New York Jets, probably one of the most maligned franchises in any sport ever. They do every year. They do the annual NFL Players Association survey where they anonymously ask players on teams about, hey, how is this organization? How is the ownership? How is everything? They collected data from 1,695 of the league's players. Well, Woody Johnson and the Jets did not score very well at all. In fact, he got an F for his lack of willingness to invest in the organization. Just across the board, one of the worst organizations to work for and play for. He said, it's totally bogus. Those results. Here's the deal. This is quote, the whole thing, how they collected the information, who they collected it from. It's supposed to be a process where we have representatives and they have representatives. So we know it's an honest survey. And that was violated in my opinion. So I'll leave it at that. But there's a lot of owners that looked at this survey and said, this is not fair, not balanced. It's not every player. It's not even representative of the players. He did say, though, I do want to be number one in everything. I want the team to get better. But discounting, it's like getting your report card and taking it to your dad and you're like, it
wasn't an honest survey of my grades.
It says 3 C's and 2 D's. But this is not indicative of how well I've actually done. No, it's right there.
No, it's the methodology.
It's the method. My teachers
incorrect.
didn't like me. Yeah.
The Jets are well known around the NFL as terrible.
Around all sports.
Terrible.
Organization. Sorry about it.
All right. Finally, a little do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
And a story I doubt we'll be seeing anytime soon in San Diego, but good for Coastal Carolina University. The Chanticleers are becoming the first college football program in the country next season to offer free concessions at games. Wow. Okay, so how's this going to work? All right, so CCU says fans who buy a ticket to any of their games will be able to select up to 4 items per concession stand visit from a menu selection of hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, and fountain drinks. No limit on how many visits fans can make to the concession stands. They just have to scan an app each time they go. Average attendance was 21,415 last year, around average for the Sun Belt Conference. But they feel like, hey, we'll make it up. We'll sell more tickets. People will come eat what's probably fairly inexpensive food for them to acquire and prepare and have ready for everybody, and go and make it an all-you-can-eat feast for game fans and students when they come to a Coastal Carolina Chanticleers football game next season.
It's badass.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's really cool. What's the catch? There's got to be a catch, right?
It's really
it doesn't sound
really no catch. They even said most ticket prices are going to stay the same for next season as well. They're just hoping that they get more people. Now, alcoholic beverages, specialty items, and items from third-party vendors. So the really good premium stuff is not included. It's just the basic hot dogs, nachos, popcorns, and sodas.
Which is awesome.
But for people, some people, that's absolutely fine.
Right here, man. I mean, I can subsist on that. and especially for the right price of on the house every time you go. That's really good. It's a good idea. Yeah, Keegan says those lines must be insane.
Their athletic department apparently is willing to try some things. So apparently this past fall, the school offered season ticket holders for men's and women's basketball a full refund if the teams won at least 35 games. So bet on your own team. Like if they win, if you buy tickets and they get to 35 wins total, we'll give you your money back.
Wow.
They won 33 games this past season. Didn't quite get there. Fans didn't quite get their money back.
That's fun,
though.
though.
It's a good season. You're cheering for it. You get. It's better than saying, hey, if we don't win at least this many games, we'll give you your money back. Because then you get a bunch of fans who are cheering against your team.
Yeah, to lose.
They were getting them to cheer for the team. The more wins, the more likely it was that they were going to get their money back for season tickets.
I like that. It seems like to be a forward-thinking organization there. I like that.
And that is don't and do this for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Woods is itching to talk more Padres baseball, more on last night's game, the red-hot start by the bullpen. And then I want to ask the question, is this 5-0 start for real? I mean, are you buying into what you are seeing so far from the Padres this season? We'll discuss it coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
But first, I wanted to tell you, my beloved friends out there, I love so much that baseball season is back. I've been having a good time playing Underdog Daily Fantasy. Just go download the app right now. You can make every game more exciting with Underdog. I know I have to play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats, like strikeouts, home runs, hits, and more. They got all your favorite teams and stars to choose from. You can mix and match other sports, or I've just been rolling, go figure, with just baseball picks so far. I think I've won $6 so far. So $6. It's $6 more than I had. So you can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Turn $1 into 1,000 just with your baseball knowledge. So check it out today. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using the promo code WOODS. You'll unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code WOODS. Claim your special offer today. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. You must be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got a request in the chat. I mean, this isn't, top 40 request radio, but I thought it was a good request over the break. Said, are you guys going to talk about Manny's interference play yesterday?
It was unreal, man.
It really was. And it was such a critical moment in the game. Kyle Hart was a bit on the ropes, in his fifth inning, 2 runners on. I said to my son, we were watching the game, I said, this will be the difference between a good start and a bad start.
Correct.
What happens on this next batter, is going to determine. If Kyle Hart gets through 5 innings, 2 runs, that's a great start for a fifth starter. If these guys come around to score and he gives up 4 and he's going to probably get a no decision, doesn't make it through, huge moment in the game.
Yep.
So for Manny Machado to pull off what was, I don't even know how he does it. Just a play that I don't know that anyone even thinks about or would possibly, come to the mind, like consider what might happen in this situation of getting a runner is picked off, running to third, makes the tag, and then as the runner is going from first to second, he gets all tangled up with the runner, but still tries to make the play, with
no ball in his
hand. Without a baseball in his hand, to show the umpire, hey, this guy's interfering with me.
Which he was.
I need to be. Yeah, he absolutely was. I forget which member of the Guardians.
Arias?
Was it Arias that was there? And he was like, he held Manny by the...
hugged him.
Yeah, I kind of hugged him. Like, it was almost looking like, hey, I'm going to keep you from falling. I'm trying to be nice and not knock you over. But Manny made, hey, look, I'm trying to throw it over to second base to get another out. Now, whether he would have gotten the out or not at second base, I have no idea.
Doesn't matter.
I never saw a replay, but it doesn't matter. You were interfered with.
Correct.
Many times interference is called on a slide to second when, the guy at first was going to be safe by a mile. But if it's interference, it's interference. And
it wasn't malicious or anything
no,
like that.
God, no.
He got in his way and he was
like,
trying to make sure he doesn't get hurt.
Yep, and it cost his team another out. I heard the Guardians broadcasters were kind of soiling themselves a little bit, thinking it was a balk from Kyle Hart. It was not. It was not a balk at all. On a spin move like that, you can throw to an unoccupied base, like third base. You can throw to that base. It's no problem at all. Not a balk. You just have to make sure you throw it when you do it. Baseball Nick's in the chat right now. Not a balk. You don't have to disengage on the spin move. You just have to throw it. So it was, again, one of the headier plays you'll ever see. I mean, truly, the no ball in his hand, still attempting to make the throw. It was brilliant, man. He makes those plays all the time. Schulte talked about it after the game as well. Who even thinks about that in that moment? I think at that moment you're happy getting that lead runner at third, and then you're just hoping, oh God, am I about to get trucked here? But in a split second, man, he goes, oh, if I show this umpire that he is really in my way, I may be able to get this guy banged at second too. And son of a bitch, if he doesn't go out and does it, it was really, really, really solid, man.
And
really
then
solid.
That helped Kyle Hart get through the inning, completed his 5 innings, got his first win of his Major League Baseball career. Remember, he did pitch a few starts, I think 4 starts for the Red Sox in the COVID year of 2020, but not in front of any fans, didn't get any wins. This one, I'm sure, hit quite differently for Kyle Hart, who got a beer shower from his teammates after the game. And it's his dad Roger was in attendance and got to see it. Just a very cool moment for Kyle Hart to get the victory in last night's game.
Can't say enough good things about what he's done. And really, again, what the bullpen has done. They are the gold star every night for these guys. I'll tell you what, the other play of the game that I thought was spectacular. Obviously, Fernando, beautiful sliding catch and right on the moist, dewy grass out there was perfect. Timed it perfectly. Folded the arms after. Looked really, really good. And then the Wandy Peralta play to end the game.
Oh, yeah.
On a nubber that is, again, slick-ass grass. He stops, he plants, he fires 96 over to Luis Arraez at first base to get the last out of the game. These guys look dialed in. They just look dialed in from the first pitch to the last pitch. It's really, really awesome to see. The one thing, again, I saw somebody complaining, of course, because why wouldn't you after a 5-0 start, historical 5-0 start? This team's base running. I love it. I couldn't love it more. I understand Gavin Sheets got popped, trying to stretch a single into a double. I understand that Luis Arraez got popped, turning a single into a double. I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. I think it's great. It's an aggressive style of baseball. I think you're going to make it way more than you miss it. I really, really do. And Fernando, good job by Fernando recognizing later in the game, hey, man, Lane Thomas got a pretty good arm. He hit one in the gap. Fernando's fast as hell, too. He hits first base and was like, whoa, no. I don't want this to happen again. I love the aggressive baseball. This is Schilt ball, man. This is it.
I do know that if you never get thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double, you're probably not trying enough. You should every once in a while. Now, you want to minimize it, obviously. You don't want to give up outs on the base paths. But if you're so conservative that you're not even trying it on close plays occasionally, you're giving up a lot of value of those extra bases that you can be taking. And that's not Mike Schilt baseball. Mike Schilt wants them to be aggressive, and he understands that means occasionally it's going to result in an out. Again, you have to minimize it and you have to get good reads, but they work on that. And, I agree with you. I don't have a huge problem with it. Underrated part of the game, we mentioned the bullpen. I think they're now at 19 consecutive scoreless innings. The ERA is about like a half a run. The only run they gave up was the Alec Jacob home run to Austin Riley on opening day.
Fourth inning.
Since then, nothing allowed by the bullpen whatsoever. But they were able to lock down that win without even the back end. No Suarez again, no Jason Adam, no Jeremiah Estrada. They were able to get 4 shutout innings from Alec Jacob, Yuki Matsui. He's looked good to start the season. Adrian Morejones looked great, and Wandy Peralta's looked really, really good as well. Efficient, gets his outs quickly. 7 pitches, 3 more outs. He's 2-0. He's got a 0.00 ERA, and we talked about that during spring training, that Wandy Peralta, like many relievers, can have a bad season. Sometimes they bounce back and have a good one the next year, and I was hoping that Wandy, considering he is signed for the next 3 seasons with the Padres, would bounce back and have a good season. So far, so good for Wandy Peralta. And the bullpen's been great.
How about Yuki Matsui?
Yeah.
I mean, just again, another guy that we kind of expected to take a step forward this year, and he looks massively confident, whereas he did not last year. All these guys are getting it done, and they're just passing it to the next guy. It's pretty special, man. It's pretty special to see contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. Manny, I thought big stolen base. I mean, it just knows the right time to kind of go. I've loved this team. I'm not going to get mad at these guys for staying aggressive. I'm not. I like this brand of baseball. This is an exciting brand of baseball. Is it going to cost us a game here or there? Yeah, but hasn't it helped us win 5 in a row? Right? Like, it's that kind of baseball. We're 5-0 because they've been aggressive, because they're playing really, really smart, because they're moving the next guy. They're not playing hero ball every night. They're really not. It has been such a joy to watch these games. You never know what you're going to see. I mean, truly, some of the craziest stuff has happened, stuff I've never even fathomed happening. That play last night was one of them.
And yet it's still been clean.
Right.
Not a ton of sloppy errors.
Nope.
No 8-1 leads are now you scratch it out, you win 8-7.
Right.
Like, they're just playing crisp baseball,
Yeah,
and it has
man.
been so fun to watch.
They just seem dialed in, dude. They just seem focused. They seem motivated. All of that, dude. It's really, really special right now. And I want to keep this thing rolling. And what else can you ask for, dude? Your first time through the rotation. You know, a couple of the starters didn't exactly give you a lot of length or girth, but a couple of them did. And a couple of guys pitched really, really well. But the bullpen to be able to come in and pick those guys up, and the offense being able to come, they score a run in the top of the first. Oh no, we're so pressured. We just throw 4 on you in the next inning. It's been really, really fun.
All this positive Padres talk. We sound like Mike Schilt a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, you can tune into the Manager's Report with Mike Schilt this Friday at 9 a.m. here on Ben & Woods. The Manager's Report is refreshed by Eco Water SoCal.
Yeah,
Try
buddy.
alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. But is that starting pitching sustainable? Is Gavin Sheets sustainable? Is this a real start? Do you believe what you are seeing from the San Diego Padres? We'll start our discussion about that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Drier roads making all the difference in this morning's commute. Guys, we're not showing any trouble spots, just that usual gem up in the usual spots. Northbound side of the 805, very sluggish from the 54 all the way up toward the 8 before it lets up. Spring into action at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Stay in your car while friendly technicians check oil, batteries, lights, tires, and more. Locations and coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. All vehicle types welcome. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I need not remind Padres fans of things that can go wrong over the course of a baseball season. It was 2021 when the Padres were 17 games above 500, looking like world beaters in the first half of the year when the bottom dropped out, pitching injuries occurred, and they went through their once-in-a-century collapse and finished 4 games under 500 at the end of that season. There are certainly plenty of pitfalls and landmines the rest of the way with 157 remaining. But when we ask the question, does this look real to you? What the Padres are doing. I don't know that I've ever seen any baseball that looks more real than what the Padres are playing the last 5 days. I mean, it is real. Absolutely. It is good baseball. It looks like a team that knows how to play good baseball, and I can't imagine they're just going to forget all of a sudden how to do it. Even Gavin Sheets, of course, he's not going to continue hitting 500, but at the same time, the swing looks really, really good. He doesn't look like he's just run into a bunch. It's not like the Padres have faced a bunch of number 5 starters. I mean, they faced a Cy Young Award winner. They faced Spencer Schwellenbach, who's nasty.
Ronaldo Lopez,
who was an all-star last year. Smith Shawver had nasty movement, and Ortiz was throwing 87 or 97, 98. Had some movement last night. I mean, not a bad pitcher at all. They have faced good starting pitching, and they have managed to do this. And while, yes, the Padres have had a lot of good breaks, doubles off the pitcher's leg and a check swing that was a double, they've also hit a lot of balls rocketed that have found gloves as well over the course of the first 5 games of the season. So to me, when you add it all up, it does feel like, this is something, not 162-0, but this is something that I kind of now expect to see going forward. The Padres continuing to play good baseball with this team that's on the field.
Yeah, I know times are going to get tough. I know that. I know that from years of being a baseball fan and covering baseball for a living. It's going to get rough. Guys are going to get hurt. Guys are going to stop producing. Guys are going to hit cold snaps, man. It just happens all the time. And you can't keep up an undefeated pace in baseball. It's never happened. It never will happen. But how do they weather that storm? How do you minimize, Ben, the 5-game losing streak, the 6-game losing streak? How do you keep it to 2 or 3, and then get back on the horse? And that remains to be seen. Nobody's got the crystal ball. All I can judge is what I've seen in 5 games. It's been 5 of the most fun baseball games I've watched.
And remember, for all of the things that you wonder whether they're going to be able to keep it going, catchers are not going to hit 300 this year.
Right.
But Luis Ariz is going to start hitting.
Correct.
And he got a hit yesterday, got thrown out at second. So essentially, he has contributed nothing offensively through the first 5 games. 0. Your batting champion, your 3-time defending batting champion, has contributed 0. He had a bunt and moved a couple of guys over with ground balls. That's all he's done offensively this year. That will improve. Your 2 best starters had mediocre efforts. I'm sure that Dylan Cease and Michael King will have some good starts going forward, and I am optimistic that within the next month or so, Darvish could return to this rotation and start contributing as well. So there are also things that could be better from this team from a 5-0 start. It's not just the things that you worry are not sustainable. There are other things that should improve for the Padres going forward.
But listen, if they want, like they're saying in the chat, you want to prove it to me this year, San Diego Padres, go handle business against the Colorado Rockies. That's your true measuring stick.
They haven't beaten the Rockies once this year.
They have not beaten the Rockies once this year. That's that. You want to prove it to me? We go ahead and sweep the Rockies.
Tonight. If you don't beat the Rockies tonight, I'm not going to believe in you. You've got to beat the Rockies.
You want to prove it. You keep playing well, and you go handle business against the Rockies, then I'm a believer.
You know what? That reminds me.
When do we play those
there
guys?
Was so much, not real panic, but a little bit of panic that the team just didn't play well in spring training.
Yeah.
Coming out 5-0 and playing the way they're playing. Just remember next year and moving forward.
Wow.
Spring training games do not matter even a little
Results
bit.
really don't matter. Manny was hitting 150 or something. Yeah.
He looks locked in.
Yeah.
Next homestand, next Friday. First game of the next homestand. Rockies will be in for 3.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Test your theory early in the season.
God.
Bud Black coming to town soon.
Drink heavily.
All right, we got 2 hours to go. Jesse Agler ahead with the Incorporator on a Tuesday. Stay tuned for more Ben and Woods.
All right, we are halfway home on a Tuesday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. What an honor it is to be here with you guys this morning, off to a very, very hot start. Us this morning. 2 hours has flown by. My God, it has been the fastest 2 hours of the year. Amazing what a 5-0 start can do for everyone's mentals to start the baseball season. Not going to be that way the entire year. Just kind of let yourself know that right now and act accordingly. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindle, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Do you realize I still have not figured out how to get that windshield wiper?
What? I thought it was all settled. We had tier ones who are willing to come do it for you.
I watched the video. Paulie
got tips. Paulie told you you had to turn it at a 90-degree angle.
I still can't find the slot.
You still can't. And it was raining again.
It rained the last 3 mornings.
Did you get the old one back on so you can at least? It's still sticking straight out from your car. Oh, yeah.
You're driving like that? And it's just sticking straight?
Yeah, the one in front of me works. Right? Not well, but it works. The one to the right, where the passenger would sit, is just sticking up.
But then when it's on, are you seeing
it's going back and
but sticking straight out and going back and forth?
Yeah.
Somebody please help this man.
I'm begging you at this point. Someone
Can't you just take it in? I mean, you're
not going to take it in. That's mortifying.
You're usually willing to pay to get dumb services done at your house and stuff. Why not just get?
What am I going to hire a handyman to come over and do it? Don't I have a friend that can do it?
Pull into your Valvoline instant oil change that you love so much, and I'm sure they can do it
just
for
had
you.
Them do. What was I thinking? Even attempting this by myself. Rod says they do it free with purchase. No, I didn't. I bought it on Amazon. So I should have had the. I should have
Amazon can come over. And
I should have had the guy that delivered
Jeff
it.
Bezos, come over.
No, the guy that delivered it. I should have said.
Are you installing this too?
Hey man, real quick, while you're here, do you think if I open this quickly, you could put it on?
I'm an Amazon driver.
And he'll go, yeah, I'm not an idiot. I absolutely can do it.
I just forget about those ones.
So
call it a lost cause. Go to the AutoZone or whatever. Buy.
What do you mean at the AutoZone? They'll come out and do it right there. The guy behind the counter will come out and do it.
Really? That's cool. I guess Valvoline will do it. Just go in, say, hey, my wife's car. She didn't have time to do this. I told her I'd just take care of it for her, but I'm busy. Can you just let her? Can you do it for her, please?
This is my wife's car with all the baseball equipment in the back.
It's really embarrassing. There's a couple of those things. Not a couple. There's about 40 dozen of those things that I don't know how to do. I've got a beautiful, beautiful Gibson Hummingbird acoustic guitar that is missing one string. One. I have strings. I've tried for 30 years I can do it passably, but it doesn't look clean. You know, like how they wind it.
Doesn't have to be like precisely tight so you get the right sound.
Well, I know how to tune it. I know how to tune a guitar.
Okay.
So I know how to. I know.
Oh, it doesn't look clean at the top. It's messy at the top.
I'll clip it, and it doesn't wrap. I don't get the same cool wrap that they do the pros.
You got like leftover shoelace at the end.
The one like dangling off, and it just sits there. And I look at it every day, going, "Man, I wish I could play you someday, maybe." But I'm too prideful to put it in a case, drive to the place, and go, "Hey, man, can you restring this for me?" And because the guy will look at me and go, "Well, I'll just put the high E on there, and you're off and running. Why can't you do it yourself? You're a grown man." It's just, I'm telling you, man.
Have you considered YouTubing that?
Oh, I've done it. I can't get the proper wind. I can't. It doesn't look aesthetically like it should. I can get it, and I've done it. And it's passable.
Playable.
I can make it passable and playable. Absolutely. No problem. I know how to do it. I just don't get the good. It's like an art form to me when I see these guys do it. It's crazy.
So go to the AutoZone or O'Reilly's, get your windshield wipers done, then
drive to the
car center. Hi, I need help with this.
It's embarrassing. But also, I value my time, and I don't like to waste my time doing something I know that I'm not good at. So I just don't. Don't do it.
I do sometimes wonder what I what I would have been like if I had grown up in, like, the 1800s, and you
Dead.
had to.
You would have been dead. I would have been.
Well, I
dead.
assume I would have learned a little bit better how to make my own cheese.
Ben on the Oregon Trail
Stuff.
died of
And I'm
dysentery.
not saying just instantly transported back. I'm saying I actually grew up back in the, do it yourself. You had to have the pioneer spirit.
No, see, you adapt to your surroundings.
Make your own furniture.
You adapt to your surroundings. You
Yeah.
would have been fine.
Yeah.
Our surroundings now is that everything's done for us,
Right.
and it's a phone call away. I get texts from DoorDash every night at 5:09, every single night. Like, hey, bud, specials tonight are, and I'm like,
It's been 24 hours
By
since
the
we've
way,
spoken.
do they do this to everyone? Do you guys get those? Because you guys have used DoorDash.
I
use
have.
DoorDash.
No, I don't.
Every night. I'll show you.
You get a
Five-
text or like a push notification?
a push at 5:09 every night. Hey,
I
man,
have- I don't think I have them.
where's your
turned on.
dinner? What are you guys having tonight?
Are your kids going hungry? Because, we feel like if you're not ordering from us, you're probably not feeding your children.
Oh, God. See,
Maybe
Juan
that's a-
says this. This is great. I guarantee you, if you take your Gibson to Guitar Center to get restrung, they'll think you're just showing off your expensive guitar and don't actually play it. I actually can play. I play it much better than
Who
I.
cares what the people at Guitar Center think, whether you play your guitar or not? Doesn't matter.
You
if
get your new strings and you're happy.
It doesn't matter. You get the strings done. You leave. You don't have
They're
to talk to
mocking
them
me the
anymore.
whole way out to
Yeah,
my
they
car.
probably are, but it doesn't matter. You just have to get over that. Stop worrying that people think you're incompetent.
I
You
know I'm
are.
incompetent.
You are. They think you are. Fine. You know what? You have an accurate picture of me. I'm an incompetent person who has come to Guitar Center to get my guitar strung, but I just then have my guitar that I get to enjoy when I get home. And you can laugh about me with your coworkers all day long.
I know, man. I know.
Just don't wear like a Ben and Woods shirt.
Right. I know it's their job. I know it is. And that's what they get
You know what?
paid.
If you want to go
do.
in and go, hi, I'm Ben from Ben and Woods. Can you restring my guitar?
So
I'll wear it.
embarrassing,
It's
man.
fine.
It's so embarrassing. At least I admit it, though. At least I admit it. I will admit fully that it's an issue of mine. But the DoorDash thing is what gets me every single night. 5:09, 5:10. Hey, killer specials tonight for you and the fam.
We ordered takeout for dinner last night, but I made my son go get it. I don't do the DoorDash almost ever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to pay the extra fees and the tip and everything. And usually they charge higher prices for the food as well. It's all baked in there, but you're paying. I feel like you're paying an extra $15-$20
You
by the
probably
end of the
are.
day.
You probably
It's
are.
like it's 2 minutes away. I'll
I'll
order it. I'll pay for it. You go get it. I buy. You fly.
I give it the I use my children as an excuse. It's like, they're wearing me out. Let's just order DoorDash. We do that's every night. The convo in our house.
Caitlin says, "Why didn't you go get it, Ben?" Because I paid for it. That's what I did, and then he went and got it.
I
and got
like
to
that
eat
move.
For,
I'm
eat
telling
for free.
you.
I buy, you fly.
When my kids are old enough to drive, they have no idea what's in store for them. I won't do an effing thing. Nothing. I'll do nothing. Get your ass, pick up my dry cleaning. I need you to go do this. You know what else I had to do yesterday? I haven't done in a while. I had to go get a tuxedo. I had to go rent a tuxedo I chose.
Oh,
yes. Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look.
I guarantee
it. They actually,
George Zimmer.
They had some pretty decent selections. And I went with a little one off the beaten path. I did not go for the standard black.
What?
Oh yeah. You'll see. I'm going to save it for you.
We're not going to match.
We don't need to match. It's going to look awesome.
Really?
Yeah. You'll like it. It looks sharp.
Oh, I better like it. It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. No, you're going to like the way I look.
Okay.
I
Guaranteed?
guarantee
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%. So they had to do all the measurements. They get real close to the
inseam.
Yes. And I'm like, all right, lady. I'm standing there. I'm like, hands over my head. I'm like,
I also had to get my tuxedo altered because
he's lost 100
I lost
pounds.
the weight.
I get it.
And yeah, they do get right up in there and like
yeah, they got right up next
underneath
to the
and,
old
like, you gotta
to the boys.
do everything. Had to take in the waist. That was good moment actually. Expensive, surprisingly expensive, but yeah.
I found a pair of pants there that I really liked. By the way, you know how much they cost? $10.
Nice.
10. I had to get them altered. 96. So the $100 pair of pants. I'm like, all right, well,
Don't those places usually cost more
3
to
words,
rent it
off
than to
the
just
rack.
buy suits?
No, I mean, if I was going to buy a tuxedo, it'd be more than $200 or whatever,
Yeah.
which is what it cost me to rent it.
I mean,
so.
I think that's going to cost me $200 at least to get it altered. But at least if I ever need the tuxedo again, hopefully it'll fit.
Yeah.
I remember like in high school though, I think Men's Warehouse for prom or homecoming or whatever, like I just ended up buying the suit because it was like $300 to rent it, $250 to buy it. And you're like, why? Why wouldn't I need a black suit?
Yeah.
Might as well just buy it.
Might as well keep it. So, but it was, you forget kind of what and how embarrassing it is when you go in and get
I do like how
measurements and stuff.
They've made it sound so proper by calling it the inseam. It's the crotch.
You're measuring my crotch, lady.
Yeah.
You're way.
We're going to call it the inseam because that sounds a lot more proper.
You're right down there. Like you're right. I was like, how's your day? Everything good? Good. I was the only person in there, so I had everybody helping me. It made me kind of feel good. But yeah, you'll see Benny and I are going to be doing a roast of my father-in-law on the 11th. And so you'll see us. We'll post some pictures of us in our different varying tuxedos. Should be fun.
I'm a professional at getting roasted.
Oh,
I have no idea about doing any roasting, but it'll be interesting.
It's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
All right, we need a contestant for Take on Woods. If you'd like to join us and try to qualify for our this is a weekly prize. It's tickets to the Sold Out When We Were Young festival featuring Blink 182, Panic in the Disco, The Offspring, and more in Las Vegas. You can beat or tie Woods when we come back with our musical trivia challenge. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We'll get to that when we come back after traffic. Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. First, going to tell you about Prize Picks. It's my daily fantasy sports place, especially here in baseball season. So easy and fun to get real money sports action every single night. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, put them in your lineup, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. You're just looking at stat projections. So essentially half a hit or half a walk or half a home run. You can get better odds on something like that when you pick more. The more odds, the more players you put in your lineup, the more you can win with Prize Picks. There's over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. So you feel like you're part of a community. Lots of people doing Prize Picks out there. Obviously, do it safe and responsibly. But if I can do it, I'm pretty sure this is something that everyone can handle. I've had fun with Prize Picks all year long, and now that baseball's back, every night finding my favorites, putting Tatis and Machado into lineups, and watching our team play. It's a whole bunch of fun. It's really easy to sign up. Just download the app at PrizePicks.com. When you do, use the code KWFN. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup at Prize Picks. Again, $50 instantly with your first $5 lineup simply by using the code KWFN. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
If you're on hold for Take on Wood, stay right there. I haven't picked a contestant yet, so you're definitely in the mix. We're going to play our game here in just a couple of minutes. And then Jesse Agler is going to join us for the first time this season on an Incorporator Tuesday at the bottom of the hour. First, though, Woods, the transfer portal takes, but also gives back sometimes. And news last night from the UT and Mark Ziegler that the Aztecs have landed a commitment of 6'9" forward Jeremiah Oden in the transfer portal. Oden might be somewhat familiar to San Diego State fans as he played his first 3 seasons of college basketball at Wyoming and actually gave the Aztecs fits in some of those matchups. Just torched him a couple of games, even shooting 61%, 42.9% from three-point range. He then transferred to DePaul, where he played a season, and because of DePaul, not you, DePaul, the Blue Demons.
Yeah, he is DePaul.
And because of the COVID year, he had an extra year of eligibility, which he went to Charlotte last year, but then got hurt. He injured, I think he broke his foot and was out for the season. So he's got a medical redshirt, 1 more year of eligibility, and he plans to use it at San Diego State. Back in the
nomad
Mountain
or
West.
what?
Yeah, a bit of a nomad. Well,
I can relate.
You follow the money in college basketball now. So this is not, from what I've seen, and I watched some highlights that they posted of Oden, not a replacement for Magoon Guath. He's not an interior shot blocker. He's more of he looks like a little smaller than the 6'9" he's listed at, plays smaller than that. He drives with the basketball, will shoot, mid-range jumper, get to the basket. He does rebound, 4 or 5 rebounds a game, which is nice, but he's not a, center clogging, shot blocking type player.
One of my buddies sent me it was like CBS Sports Analytics or whatever, and they said the most comparable player in Mountain West, think Micah Parsons from last year.
Okay.
Micah Parrish.
Micah Parrish, not Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and I would assume
tough guy.
I would assume the fact that Dutch was even looking at him means he's a decent defender, because you don't play at San Diego State. If you're only coming for 1 season, there's no point in bringing a guy in saying, hey, we'll let you learn our defense for a season and then you'll play. No, he's got to play next season. That's his only season left of eligibility. But Odin, they call him J.O. It's 7.5 point average, 3.6 rebounds. I don't think he's going to be a star, but we'll give the Aztecs some more depth next season. And I'm sure there's looking for other options still in the transfer portal, but that was the news yesterday from San Diego State basketball. All right, before we get to Jesse, let's get to today's game. It is time for Take On Woods. Take On Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm Security and Fire Alarms. For every business, we got you. Woods has left the studio, and I now get to pick a contestant. I always hate this. I try to be very random about it.
Let's try line 3. Who's
all right.
on line 3?
Caller, who's this?
Daniel.
Daniel, you calling for Take On Woods?
Yes.
Good morning. You're in. You're a contestant today. Congratulations.
Hey, first off, go Padres. I think I'm giving them all the good luck because I'm getting the bad luck. I got a cracked pipe in my house this week, and I just stuck my hand in my pocket and got stung by a bee. So
my goodness. Cracked
Woods
pipes.
can fix pipes, actually. So
Stung
just call
by
Woods.
a bee in your pocket. Well, maybe we at least get you a prize here for Take On Woods. So you're playing for these sold-out concert tickets in Las Vegas coming up on October 18th. It's the When We Were Young Festival featuring Blink-182, Panic! In the Disco, and The Offspring. Day 2 of the festival still on sale at whenwewereyoungfestival.com. But if you can beat it, Ty Woods, we'll put you into just the week-long drawing. No one won yesterday, so you could be the only one in the drawing, which would be great. All right, you get to pick our category here. That gives you a little bit of an advantage. Your choices are Basketball Goose, still sitting out there, authored by Tier 1 Goose, inspired by March Madness and basketball-related answers. La La Land, 5 song titles that include La in the name, and our new category, Great Shakes. Those are song titles that begin with shake. So Basketball Goose, La La Land, or Great Shakes, Daniel?
Great Shakes?
Great Shakes, like Shake Shack, shakes.
Got it. Let's do it.
That's the one. All right, going with the new category. Again, today's category, 5 song titles that begin with the word shake. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie will play the music. You need to give me that title that starts with shake and then the band name, the artist, to score that point. Daniel, are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock in the category Great Shakes. Daniel, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Take it up. Pass on the name for now.
Okay. Taylor Swift sings Players Gonna Play, 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 Play. Haters Gonna Hate. Correct. Bob Seger got an Oscar nomination for which 1987 song that appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Beverly Hills Cop 2? Pass. The 2 biggest hits for Peaches and Herb were 1979's Reunited and which track that came out 1 year prior? Still there, Daniel? Pass. All right, let's go. In 1954, Bill Haley and his Comets followed up the legendary Rock Around the Clock with which second song to reach the top 10 on the Billboard charts?
1950s, really?
Yeah.
Pass.
All right, go back to our 2-second song.
Shake it up.
Shake It Up by? Oh, by the Cars. Hey, don't criticize. You know how hard it is to find 5 songs that all begin with the same word sometimes? I got to dig deep sometimes. You did get Shake It Off. I think that was the only one you got. Shake Down by Bob Seger. I like that song. Shake Your Groove Thing by Peaches and Herb, and Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Bill Haley and his Comments. Who knows? I mean, maybe one's enough. Stay on the line, Daniel, because we bring Woods back into the studio. He didn't hear any of that, and he doesn't get the category. Makes it tougher. But we get the same 5 questions, 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Daniel.
Shake It Up by the Cars.
Correct. Taylor Swift sings Players Gonna Play, Play.
Shake It Off.
Correct. Bob Seger got an Oscar nomination for which 1987 song that appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Beverly Hills Cop 2?
Pass.
The two biggest hits for
Shakedown.
Correct. Sorry. The two biggest hits for Peaches and Herb were 1979's Reunited and which track that came out 1 year prior?
Shake These Nuts?
Incorrect. In 1954, Bill Haley and his Comets followed up the legendary Rock Around the Clock with which second song to reach the top 10 on the Billboard charts? And you've already gone to your go-to answer.
Oh, I have many more go-to answers.
Yeah.
The Hippie Shake.
Shake, Rattle, and Roll. And then the other one was Shake Your Groove Thing by Peaches and Herb, as Jay to the J.O. says. Peaches and Herb,
Peaches
a.k.a.
and Herb.
cannabis.
Yeah, Herb.
Herb. Ganja,
Herb.
a.k.a.
Peaches and
cannabis.
Herb. Yeah.
But you win 3-1 over
Good.
Daniel today,
Okay.
which means those concert tickets for Vegas still up for grabs this week. 3 more days, 2 more Take on Woods, 1 real or fake that you can still qualify for the prize. Daniel, I'm sorry. He told us the sob story.
Oh,
His
man.
pipes burst.
What?
He put his hand in his pocket and he got stung by a bee
He
just
had a
now.
bee in his pocket?
He had a bee in his pocket.
Oh, my God.
I did volunteer you to go help him fix his pipes.
Right.
The
Hope you don't mind.
concierge,
Yeah.
San Diego's concierge,
Yes.
Stephen Woods. Here I am.
Hope he doesn't have an
Bring
allergic
your
reaction.
toolbox.
To the bee sting.
Yeah, I'll bring my toolbox over and let me get in there and take a look at it. I'm sure I would crush it.
Some duct tape,
Daniel.
WD-40.
Poor guy.
I'm sure Jesse is enjoying the 5-0 start just like we are.
100%.
Our first incorporator, our first visit with the voice of the Padres, Jesse Agler, on a Tuesday is coming up next. Stay tuned for more here at Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, listen up. As San Diego's concierge, it's my duty. Concierge. It's my duty to tell you that if you are suffering right now with joint pain, you got to call QC Kinetics today. I mean, being able to go out, like today, I'll go to the gym. My trainer texted me yesterday. He wants to try to set a new PR for one of the lifts that I'm doing. And I think about it, there's no way I could have picked up 5 pounds with my wrist a couple of years ago. I went to QC Kinetics. Now I'm looking forward to it, man. I look forward to challenging myself, playing baseball on the weekends with Paulie, playing golf with Benny. These are all things I could not do just a couple of short years ago. Didn't know what the future held for me. Went to QC Kinetics. Now my future is filled with doing things that I love to do. And if you're suffering from joint pain right now, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back, your wrists, whatever, call them today, 619-614-PAIN. Now is the best time to get started. Get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain every single day. Call them, find out if you're a good candidate for their treatments at 619-614-PAIN. They are QC Kinetics. They got a couple different locations for you, one in Hillcrest, one in Torrey Hills. Can't recommend a place more. Changed my life dramatically. And next time anything in my body starts to hurt, I know where I'm going. It's QC Kinetics. You can reach them again, 619-614-PAIN. Let them know Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent you.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Oh, I love baseball season. I like the consistency. We get into a nice routine every week. Yesterday, we chatted with Dennis Lin from The Athletic. He's going to be our Monday guest throughout the season, but it is extremely gratifying to welcome back to his Tuesday slot at 8:35, the voice of the San Diego Padres, the incorporator himself, Jesse Agler, back with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Jesse, what a nice first 5 games it's been for the Padres.
Fine. I mean, 5-0, like, what else can you say? I feel like usually when I come on with you guys, particularly early in the season, I'm trying to talk you off some kind of ledge.
Fair.
And I would really, really hope there is no ledge at 5-0, because this is as good as it gets.
It's been, it's really, obviously that last game, a couple games against the Dodgers notwithstanding, Jesse, it's pretty reminiscent of last year's baseball. Some of the baseball that they played, a couple of different guys, different personnel, but how great is it to see guys like Gavin Sheets get picked up from the White Sox and come out and just all he does is just hit the ball hard and on the barrel, and even without a torpedo bat, he's still barreling baseballs all around the yard. And this whole team is feeding off of each other. It's been pretty, I know you're calling the game every night, man. It's pretty inspiring to see.
It's been a lot of fun. And, I think the greatest compliment I served them last year, and I said it with regularity on your show and elsewhere, was that they played this really watchable brand of baseball. And, that might sound silly to somebody who doesn't necessarily watch like all the other teams with any kind of regularity. But the reality is there are a lot of good teams who play very ugly, boring baseball. They just kind of, everybody strikes out and walks and hits home runs. And it's just it's not a great, to me, brand of the game. And the Padres last year, they were putting the ball in play. They hit well situationally. They obviously pitched really, really beautifully most of the season. And to me, that was very watchable. And I mean, I don't think it was the end of the 8th inning on opening day when Tony and I were having a conversation about, well, it seems like they're picking up right where they left off. Even with the starting pitching struggles in the first 2 games, which is just one of those early weird, early season things that happens. I don't think anybody's worried about that. But the offensive approach, it was like nothing changed. And yeah, those last 2.5 games against the Dodgers, obviously, they didn't have the success that they had the whole rest of the year. But that's just the cruelty of baseball popping up at the most inopportune moment. I mean, it's been remarkable watching the sort of, Mike Schilt used the word continuity a lot when talking about the staff and the leadership that's in place in the clubhouse. And to see the continuity of performance from the end of last year into this year is really remarkable, because it doesn't often happen like that. So often we're having a conversation about every year is a different year. And, whatever happened in 24 doesn't really relate to 25. I would say this year is looking like an exception to that conversation. And that, what happened last year very much has had a positive impact on how this season has started.
And have the Padres been getting some good breaks? Sure. Line drive off the pitcher for a double in the dugout, a check swing double, a weird double play on a pickoff, a 1-5 double play. I don't know that you've ever written that in your scorebook like last night, Jesse.
Whoa, you okay?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
A little reflux?
I'm good. Yeah, a little reflux. We're good. We're good. Try to get through it.
You want a sip of water?
Take a moment.
Yeah,
take a moment.
Compose yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to rush that.
I'm good now. Thank you.
It's one of those things, by the way, that it's like, I don't know, for me, it was like, I had never even heard of acid reflux, and then I turned 40, and it was like, oh, now it's a thing to worry about.
Do you carry Tums with you, Jesse? Because there's mine right
Maybe a
there,
little Pepsid AC.
within arm's reach.
Not only do I carry Tums, I've got one of the other ones, and I can't even pronounce the name, so I won't try, that I now take every morning to sort of pre-load against any issues.
Yep.
Because when I get the reflux, it hits the voice, and that's not great.
Honestly, for me, Jesse, I don't even think it's acid reflux. I'm a big speak from the diaphragm school guy of projecting and sometimes I do it so much that like I push it just all comes up when I try to project and really get into my voice.
Incredible.
Diaphragm talk. I love it.
Diaphragm talk on Ben and Woods this morning. No, I never doesn't make me laugh when he does it. And we had all morning. You had to wait till Jesse came on to do it, right? I'm so flummoxed now. I don't even know which way I'm going to go with Jesse Agler. I wanted to ask you about acai bowls. Actually, I'm not kidding. Yeah, right. we had talked about it earlier. You're an I know you go down and get an acai bowl. Is it an everyday thing for you?
Yeah, I'm at the ballpark, right?
Yeah, is that your deal?
Day game tradition. Tony and I will go get one at the ballpark, unless it's really cold, as was the case a couple of times over the weekend. So we haven't gone yet this year because it's not a good cold day thing for me. You know, I'm a wimp with the cold to begin with, and so you add cold food, really cold frozen food, it doesn't work well. But yeah, throughout most of the season at Petco, if there's a day game, we are grabbing the acai bowl downstairs. It's one of those things that's probably not healthy, but you kind of trick yourself into thinking it is.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Fruit on top of it.
Yeah,
you know, it's not healthy. It's got to be loaded with sugar. I've never actually investigated it because I don't want to know, but it's a nice little treat, you know, for a day game, and that's kind of the way I look at it. It's a couple times a month, so that's fine. Everything in moderation.
When somebody says, "Oh man, this is a superfood," I'm like,
No.
I gotta have it. I gotta have it if it's a superfood. But apparently, it's not.
My point was, it can be higher in calories, but they're good calories for you. I mean, it's
sure. Look, it's better than a bowl of ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's not having a salad. Let's not trick ourselves.
No,
here.
That's fair.
By the way, enjoy the windy city of Chicago in early April for someone who doesn't like the cold this weekend, Jesse.
When I tell you that this has been a daily topic of conversation for Mr. Gwynn and I since probably February 20th, I'm not exaggerating. It's like every single day at some point it comes up. You know, you guys know me. I'm very on top of the weather forecasts and kind of keeping track of, you know, what things are going to look like from a baseball weather standpoint. Tony beat me to it when it came to like the 10-day forecast for Chicago. Like last week, he was like, "Have you looked yet?" I was like, "Actually, I haven't." He's like, "It's actually not looking terrible. You know, it might be a little bit warm." And we were very excited. And then 2 or 3 days ago, I don't know, maybe there's some front coming from Manitoba. All of a sudden it flipped. And now it's like, I think on their home opener on Friday, the high is 46 and the low is 40. So, you know, the coldest I've ever been broadcasting a baseball game was at Wrigley a couple of Aprils ago. And that was like April 20 something. So we have a real possibility to be truly miserably cold over the weekend, but it's still Wrigley, 3-day games, very special place. Love it there. It's maybe my favorite road ballpark just from like a vibes standpoint. And the good news is the booth is so small that our body heat will actually help keep us a little bit warmer because we're essentially touching each other the entire time.
Well, the good news, too, is after that, you go to Sacramento to broadcast in a minor league ballpark after that with all the bells and whistles.
It's very windy at that ballpark, too.
With that, this is a gnarly road trip to start the season, buddy.
Sacramento in April, preferable to Sacramento in July.
That's
so
true.
Hopefully they work out some of the kinks they had yesterday. I mean, it's going to be like San Diego weather up there, so that'll be nice in terms of the temperature. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have triple-digit heat throughout the summer. So good luck to everybody.
Talking to the great Jesse Agler here on Ben and Woods this morning. You were probably as shocked as all of us yesterday when the Jerks and Profar news dropped. And I, you know, as a guy, I love Jerks and Profar. Was pretty disappointing to see and pretty shocking when that came out.
I just, you know, these things, they happen. And it feels like there's only a big one every couple years.
Yeah.
And I think as fans, we kind of like forget about it, right? You know, it's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, you hear about these minor league guys you never heard of, you know, that are in the Arizona Complex League or whatever, and they play for some random team and you don't really think too much of it. it's kind of like barely a blip on the radar. And then every couple of years, you kind of let your guard down and you get whacked over the head with one of these. And we know it from experience, of course, here. And it is shocking. I mean, you don't ever expect it, particularly, for somebody of that caliber. I do think from a fan perspective, I don't want to speak for the player perspective and the clubhouse perspective, because I think each one of those situations is incredibly unique and will be handled differently based on a million variables. But from a fan perspective, I do think, we are much, much, much more forgiving than we were a generation ago. When I was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s and guys started getting popped for this and they started testing, or the rumor, once the sort of veneer of 1998 was broken, I think there was a lot of shock and awe in the media community and therefore in the fan community, that people were almost offended, right? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe he would do this to the sanctity of the game. We've moved past that, I think, mostly, as a fan and maybe even media contingency. But it is still jarring, when you hear about it. And the punishments are severe. I mean, 80 games, literally half a season, for Profar, and perhaps most damningly for a team like the Braves, not eligible for the postseason roster. So, I mean, it's a huge, huge blow to a team who's obviously gotten off to a miserable start, though they did get one run last night at Dodger Stadium. But I mean, you talk about, picking up where you left off. Just remember how beat up they were, the Braves, when they got to Petco for that playoff series last year. The injuries and the doubleheader the day before, like they came in like the Walking Dead. And then to begin this season the way they have, not exactly getting the kind of reset that I'm sure they would have desired.
And it's so funny too, because somebody just brought up in the chat like Barry Bonds, and he's made like a resurgence lately. He's doing a lot more podcasts. Him and Greg Maddux did the documentary where they had a really special segment. I'm seeing him pop up on my Instagram feeds talking about hitting, and I look at Barry Bonds, Jesse, and I go, this guy's the best to ever do it. Put him in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like Jurickson Profar, we were talking earlier about risk reward, and he's not going to the Hall of Fame. He knew wasn't going to the Hall of Fame. The risk and the reward is still so weighted differently that, he's a human being. He did something, and I'm not going to hold it against him necessarily. But I mean, you think about some of these guys, the A-Rods and stuff of the world, the Roger Clemens, those were legacy impactors as it pertains to those, because Bond's the best I've ever seen with a bat in his hand, ever, bar none. And, for him not to be in there is a little bit crazy to me.
Yeah, but you bring up a good point, and it's a fascinating conversation, and we could probably do it for 2 hours, but, and maybe that's part of why people were so upset about the Bondses and the Clemens, because those guys were going to be Hall of Famers regardless. And so as a fan, you kind of look at it and you go, well, what kind of greed is that? You were already one of the best to ever do this, and now you've kind of tainted it, and I feel differently about you than I would have had you not, gone down that path. Whereas you said, somebody like Profar, Nelson Cruz, whoever, like maybe not on a Hall of Fame trajectory, so you don't feel like you're necessarily, like as a fan, being robbed of something. But I don't know, I do think, that the time then is very different than the time now.
Yeah.
But it is still shocking when like an everyday, regular, all-star kind of guy, ends up in that situation.
It sure is, man.
All right, so the Incorporator is back. If
Yes.
you're new at all to the Ben and Woods program, Jesse Agler, for several years now, on Tuesdays have been our Incorporator. And we dig through the dictionary usually and find some strange word that has no bearing on a baseball broadcast. And it's up to Jesse to find a way to work it into that night's game, slip it past Tony somehow on the air, and see if the tier ones can catch it while they're listening to the game tonight. And we're going to get started next week with our Incorporators. But as Woodsy has told me, Jesse's actually bringing his own Incorporator to the table for week one. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm going to try and do long story short. I was at an event over the off season with my wife, and I was approached by a couple of guys, really, really nice guys, and big Ben and Woods fans, big Incorporator fans. And they were very fired up to say hi. So we get to chatting, small talk, Padres, life, whatever, about my age, young kids, the whole thing, right? So it was an event that had adult beverages. And at one point, they offered one of the husbands, his name is Corey, who was going to get a drink for his lovely wife, Katie, and asked my wife and I if we wanted anything. And I said, no, I'm fine. I appreciate that very much. Just met them, didn't want to put a burden on them, but they were very friendly and nice. And at some point in the conversation, my wife was like, you know what? I will take something. And he said, what do you want? And she's like, just a glass of white wine. And he said, how about a Savvy B?
Savvy B.
For Sauvignon Blanc. And for whatever reason, neither one of us, because we're old, had ever heard that, used for Sauvignon Blanc before. And we thought it was hilarious. And everybody was laughing about it. And I said to Corey, I said, hey, first incorporator of the year. This was like November, by the way. First incorporator of the year, Savvy B. And he got very, very excited. So this is for Corey and Katie, huge Padre fans. Grew up here in San Diego, still live here, raising a young Padre fan now. And so we're going to go Savvy B, which I feel absolutely ridiculous saying.
Yeah, as you should.
That's
why it's perfect.
Perfect. Yes,
Sounds
perfect
like a rap
first
star
incorporator.
Yeah, Savvy B.
pop artist.
Well,
Yeah.
so listen, this is a can of worms because wait till next week when we have you doing skibbity toilet. If we're going to do slang and stuff,
I like slang.
you're dead. I mean, you are dead.
Now, my wife went through a Savvy B stage as well, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Slang could be a good angle for this year. We kind of didn't have like a theme for 25. Maybe
Slang.
like stuff that's not actually
an
in the
unlimited supply of slang. We can go back to like 20s gangster slang. We can do all kinds. We can do all kinds of slang.
You're a crumb creep coward.
Coward.
Amazing.
Crumb bum. That may make an appearance
Crumb
soon.
bum is amazing, actually. All right, well, start writing these down, somebody, because
I think we have a theme.
Yeah, we'll do slang for a while. It's a real thing, by the way, Jesse. I don't know if your kids are old enough, but my kids say skibbity toilet, and I don't know what it is. But I was in Target yesterday, and I took a picture of it and sent it to my wife.
I don't think they know what it is.
They don't either,
honestly.
And now
my kids know. They use it, but I don't think they know what it is. No one does.
And now they have skibbity toilet toys. I'm not joking. It's a brand of. I took a picture last night then of skibbity toilet at Target. They're making.
I assume, like everything else, it comes from YouTube. I mean, everything
probably
my 9-year-old says has roots in YouTube.
Look, there it is. Skibbity toilet. It's a brand and everything. I don't get it. I tell them every time they say it, you both sound like morons. So stop right
Jesse,
now.
good broadcast tonight. 5:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show. Then Jesse and Tony at 6:40 game 2 against the Guardians. And we will talk to you next Thursday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Jesse Agler. All right, we'll check traffic. I like this idea of slang for the incorporator this year.
Me too.
At least to get the year started, maybe pre-All-Star break or something.
Yeah.
We'll continue our conversation after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by your local San Diego County, the UPS stores. Well, the roads are winding down pretty nicely all around. Even westbound 52 looking okay heading out of Santee. Northbound side of the 805 still seeing some slow traffic 163 on up toward the 52. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from April 7th through April 15th. 50% off shredding services. Visit theupsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
Jocelyn in the chat says, since when does Jesse get to pick his own incorporator? The fact that he's done this for like 6 years for us, comes on every Tuesday, and wanted to do that. He's kind of,
by the way.
Yeah, for free, by the way. He wants to come out and do a shout out to that couple that he met. What was the name? Corey and Katie. Corey and Katie. I love it. I love it.
Jesse can do whatever he wants
can
at
do
any time.
Whatever
he wants to replace me for a day, a week. He's allowed to do that.
I would love
Jesse
that,
has,
actually.
He wants to come in and do the round table at any time. He never
God.
has, but he can. He has free reign on this radio station.
Juan says Skibbity Toilet is from TikTok. It's from a modified version of a game where they put the characters' heads on toilets and make them look uncanny. We just used to have Roman candle wars instead when we were little kids. So I don't know. It's the whole thing. I know I'm a boomer, but it just sounds so stupid when they say it.
But this also, as we were talking during traffic, this opens the door maybe to drops.
Oh, yeah.
From the tournament of drops. Hot beef could be an incorporator this year.
I have to have
You got a problem.
Could be an incorporator this year. Ganja, aka cannabis.
that would be.
He
won't do.
That would be so
won't do.
instantly recognizable. I can't imagine that one would fly, but
He will not do that one. I don't.
how
blame
could you
him.
slip that past Tony? I
Right.
mean,
Ganja, aka cannabis. Just phenomenal. Nate wants to know when the round table is starting. It starts on Thursday, buddy. We will be there.
49 hours from now.
Can't
We'll
wait.
be getting ready for the first round table.
You know what I was thinking about? I go to my trainer on Thursday as well. I can't eat any. I can't load up on round
Pizza
table
and then
pizza
go to your
and then
trainer?
go work
More
out.
Pizza for the rest of us. Paulie's going to be eating round table pizza as part of the round table this year. He was never allowed to have any pizza as a non-round table member
He was.
in the
No,
past.
no.
What, you didn't? No,
Yeah,
you
he
didn't.
got
He never.
pizza. Yes,
he never got any pizza.
Of course he
Only
did.
for the round
Only
table.
for
Only for
round
the
table.
stars.
Ben did give me his crust one time.
Yeah.
I like my crust. We'll come back. Final hour. But what's next here on The Fan? All right, thanks again to Jesse Agler,
the GOAT,
and the Incorporator, who is going to try to work Savvy B into the broadcast tonight of Game 2 against the Cleveland Guardians at Petco Park. Michael King will be on the mound for the second time this season. He'll be going up against Logan Allen, not the former Padre Logan Allen who was traded to the Guardians. This is the other Logan Allen, I believe a left-handed Logan Allen, who is, I wonder if we'll see Jose Iglesias at all tonight. Maybe get Manny off his feet. He can DH, but you don't want to take Gavin Sheets out of the lineup. You can put him at left field if you wanted, with no Jason Hayward against a lefty.
Gavin Sheets is a lefty.
That's true too, but you don't want to take him out of the lineup.
No,
I don't think.
I
Even
keep
against
him
a
rolling.
lefty at this point. I don't know. I'll be interested to see Mike Schultz lineup.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so Michael King is on the mound. And I saw, we haven't gotten to this story yet, but yesterday reports that the Boston Red Sox had reached a 6-year, $170 million contract extension with Garrett Crochet, which doesn't kick in until next year, and it buys out his last year of arbitration. Remember, Crochet not going to be a free agent until after the 2026 season. So the Red Sox,
so bad.
Red Sox had a little bit of leverage there and parlayed that, though. Still the biggest deal ever signed by a guy who still had essentially 2 years of control left. Now, remember, Michael King does not. This is his last year. He's going into free agency. So you've got to think both guys converted relievers. Both guys, near the top of the game and starting pitching.
My dude was fired up when he saw that news yesterday.
If I'm Michael King, if I'm his agent, that's baseline. That's like we're asking for at least that and probably more because we have more leverage.
How old's Michael King?
Becoming a free agent. Michael King, I want to say, is like 27.
All right. Crochet's 25 years old.
He's 29.
Okay, so that's a little different.
Yeah, that's a little less leverage.
I love you, Michael. I'm not working against you here. I want you to get your bag. I just hope it's here in San Diego. It would be tough to let that guy go.
But what he gets is what he gets. But I would definitely look at that Garrett Crochet deal at least as being
a base,
something that both sides are going to be working off of in terms of what the value is for a converted reliever becoming a top starting pitcher. Again, so Garrett Crochet has the advantage of being younger. That makes the Red Sox a little more willing to invest in a long-term deal. Michael King has the advantage of being a free agent at the end of the year and knowing he can hit the open market and pit other teams against each other, which Garrett Crochet would not be able to do. And throw Dylan Cease into the equation here as well. He's also going in and becoming a free agent. Different pitcher, obviously, with, more established as a starter, more established in terms of innings pitched and, going deep into games and pitching all season long. But I just thought that was an interesting number that the Red Sox and Garrett Crochet landed on yesterday.
Yeah, another interesting number is Rafael Devers. I believe it's now, if I'm not mistaken, is it 15 Ks in 19 at-bats to start the season?
So.
I saw Red Sox fans spiraling online yesterday and essentially saying, somebody said, yeah, this is called quiet quitting, which is a term that's come around the last few years. Quiet quitting. You just you give up on your company. You just kind of fade away a little bit. He's in the chamber. He is such a good hitter, like an elite hitter, which is why they gave him a fortune. The backstory. They get Alex Bregman in. They say, my man, we are going to put you, you're going to be our designated hitter now. He said, I don't want to be your designated hitter. I'm your third baseman. They said, yeah, but you're not good at third base. He is. We're trying to win a championship. He said, I don't care. I had heard from a couple of people that have some inside info that Rafael Devers was literally the most giant baby for about 72 hours when that happened. They had to bring in Big Papi to essentially follow him around and, get his ass back into gear, sit him down and say, hey, man, you got your money. You're trying to win championships here. I know that coming off of playing a position is hard for you, but go be the best designated hitter you can be. And obviously it has not worked so far, Benny. He is 0 for 19 with it's you look at Luis Ariz. I mean, he's gotten off to a slow start, but he's at least hitting the ball. There's some productive outs. That's a guy that hits in the middle of their lineup and can't do anything.
Saw the stat going around yesterday. Rafael Devers, 15 strikeouts in 5 games, 19 at-bats, 23 plate appearances. In 1995, Tony Gwynn, 15 strikeouts all season long in 577 plate appearances.
It is just insane. It's different, man. It's different. And again, I think you can look at it like somebody just made the point in the chat. Look, Xander Bogaerts looks like he's a little bit better of a player back at shortstop. I agree. Jake Cronenworth looks like a much better player back at second base. I agree. Rafael Devers looks like the worst player in baseball because he got pulled off of his position. So I think, they're going to have to figure it out. But you can't move Alex Bregman off of third now and be like, but he said he would. He's like, I'll go play anywhere you need me to play, which is the right attitude.
But he's by far the better defender.
Of course,
it's so by far.
You're so between a rock and a hard place.
It was more of a discussion, I think, for the Padres. Ha-Seong Kim is definitely the better defender, but the gap between Ha-Seong Kim and Xander Bogaerts is a lot smaller, I think, than the gap between Bregman and Devers
defensively, for sure. Yeah, man. So I don't know, dude. It's tough. I had them as my pick to win the East right now, and I didn't believe much in the Yankees. And look, we're only a few games into the season. A lot can change, and it probably will.
So, not that it matters, but of course, the Padres off to this record 5-0 start, the best in franchise history, happens to coincide with the LA Dodgers getting off to their best start since I think it was 1981,
which is was expected.
And of course, because of the earlier games they played in Korea, they are 6-0 and have remained ahead of the Padres, fractionally in the standings all the way through. Will the Padres ever actually catch the Dodgers? Who will lose first in the race to stay undefeated? Remember when the Aztecs went like 30-0 to start the year, the map, and they kept eliminating teams as they went, and who's the last undefeated team left? Well, we're down to 3 undefeated teams, the Padres and the Dodgers, and then the Yankees. They've only played 3 times. They're 3-0. They get back to action today, but who can last longer? The old last longer
question
bet.
that men have been asking for many.
I would say that if the Padres were going to have their day, this is the one. Padres have Michael King, their opening day starter, back on the mound against Logan Allen, the 5th starter for the Guardians. Meanwhile, the Braves, who are as desperate for a win as any team in baseball, will go back to their Cy Young Award winner, Chris Sale, and they'll go against Dustin May, who's certainly a good pitcher, but he's like the 5th or 6th guy in the Dodgers pitching depth chart right now.
But that doesn't matter.
I know.
He'd be our 1.
I know.
He'd be our 1. He'd be the
Yankees
Yankees 1.
Dodgers are still favored, minus 145 on ESPN odds in the game.
That's heavily favored.
Padres are minus 175 today. So
crazy.
They're the bigger favorites, at least in the game. How long can this keep going?
Dustin May's our 1, yeah.
Both teams, I don't know.
With his stuff?
What Cease
he's our 2.
Cease and King both have a good argument that they could be as good or better than Dustin May.
They're like 1A, 1B, 1C.
Starting a playoff game. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah. You had Glasnow yesterday. You're 4. I mean, it's stupid. So, yeah, the 6-0 surprise by them is not.
Think about that, though. The Dodgers are favored to beat the Braves, who most people at the beginning of the season said if anyone was going to beat the Dodgers, probably the second best team, favorites to win the NL East. The Braves have their Cy Young Award winner, best pitcher on the mound. The Dodgers are going down to their 5th or 6th starter, and the Dodgers are still favored to win this game. Will the Dodgers be underdogs at all this season? I don't think so. I think they'll be favored in all 162 games they play.
The only
Unless,
way,
the Padres keep just winning like insane.
No, the only way is
injuries.
Is if Glasnow's arm explodes or Roki Sasaki's arm explodes, and they have to bring up a Landon Knack or Ben Kasparius makes a spot start, who's really good. I mean, he's really good.
And they'd have to be facing a good team with a good starting pitcher.
Yeah, they may be favored in 162 games, which would be insane. I don't know that that's ever happened.
I'm sure it hasn't.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's rare in football. It's rare in college football where a team is favored in every single game. You're going to go on the road against a rival. At some point, you're going to be, plus 1.5 or something in a game. Could the Dodgers be favored in every single game they play in a 162 game baseball?
I'll tell you
season?
what, if I see the Dodgers plus 1.5 this year, I'm hammering it. Just so you know, I'm hammering it with everything I've got. We'll see what happens. But no, they're obviously a good team. They're off to a really good start, but so are we. And so are we.
We'll see. I like the game at least to see who can keep it going as long as possible and keep that undefeated record, because every time you win, it counts just as much as winning in September. Remember all the seasons the last few years where the Padres would hover around 500 and you're just like, can they just get a few games above 500? Give them some breathing room. Well, you know what? You can create some breathing room from 500 early in the season as well. They're already 5 games above 500. Win a few more. Keep it going
keep
here
it
while
rolling,
you're hot.
man. No doubt.
Keep this momentum
Stack
going and keep winning games. Get to 6 tonight. Get to 7 tomorrow. Have a good road trip. Come back, beat the Rockies. And be 12 games above 500 after 2 weeks of the season, and then you can play 500 baseball the rest of the year.
But
don't
shoot for that.
Playoff game.
But
You don't shoot for that.
Don't even think about that.
Don't even think about it.
I'm just saying that's how it works for some teams sometimes.
I love this team. I really do. I'm very, very impressed with what I've seen so far. I just enjoy so much when the game starts. It's been so much better than sitting here at 2-3. You know what I mean? Just going, well, I don't know about this team, and we were concerned, and this and that. And yeah, man, there's still things that I look at and go, oh God, is this going to last? But that happens every single year. And I think you're seeing star players around the league get off to really slow starts. They had a list yesterday, and you'd be it's Julio Rodriguez, it's Rafael Devers, it's really good players in the game that have gotten off to slow starts. And some teams as well. There's absolutely teams that have started slowly this year, Ben, that will be playoff teams. It's so friggin' early. I'm going to try not to get too high, and I'm certainly not going to get too low.
And we can kind of wrap up some of the scores from yesterday. What's real and what's not? I mean, the
real
Brewers
or fake.
The Brewers have looked terrible.
They look horrible. That's real.
They've given up. They've played 4 games. They're 0-4. In the last 3 games, they've given up 43 runs. That was insane. The 2 big to the Yankees. They lost 11-1 to the Royals yesterday.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't the torpedo bats, was it?
The Twins have also looked awful. Yesterday, they got shut out 9-0 by the White Sox, with old friend Martin Perez making his first start for the White Sox. 6 no-hit innings, a career-high 9 strikeouts, and 3 walks before Will Venable lifted him after 93 pitches.
Wasn't it against old friend Chris Paddock, who just got crushed?
And Chris Paddock got crushed in that game as well. I mean, we talked about it earlier this week. You can't turn on a baseball game without seeing a former Padres pitcher likely somewhere.
Nope.
Let's see. The Giants are off to a good start. They're 3-1, a little overshadowed by the Dodgers and Padres, but they beat the Astros 7-2 on a Wilmer Flores 3-run home run. The Cardinals and Angels are both 1-loss teams. The Cardinals suffered their first loss in 10 innings. Angels scored 2 in the 10th, beat the Cardinals 5-4, and the Halos are now 3-1 to start their season. Reds clobbered the Rangers 14-3. Pete Alonso hit his first home run of the season, made a grand slam. Mets over the Marlins 10-4, and we talked about the Cubs routing the A's during Don't Do This, but some of the results from yesterday in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, just remember, long way to go. Win today.
All right, we didn't get to the we talked about Jurickson earlier. We didn't get to the Mike Schilt audio. I'd love to play that.
It's great.
We can get to Mike's reaction when we come back with more Ben and Woods. Check traffic coming up, and then we continue on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, Woods and I want to talk to you about trustandwill.com. Not something you probably spend or want to spend a lot of time thinking about, but it is important that you make sure that your family's needs are taken care of if something should happen to you. And there's a simple, affordable way you can do it without going into a lawyer's office by going to trustandwill.com.
Yeah, very simple. It's just a website, and they will walk you through it, hold your hand through the entire process. You do it. You enter the code FAN when you check out at trustandwill.com. You'll get 20% off and free shipping of your estate documents shipped right to your home. You throw them in a drawer, and then it's there. You let your significant other know, hey, it's in the top drawer if something happens to me, and then it's done. You don't have to worry about it again.
I mean, for me, the thought of having to pick a lawyer and having no idea. I don't know any lawyers. I mean, you don't have to pick anything. You just go follow an easy process. You'll have your documents shipped quickly. And again, affordably. Use that code that Woods mentioned, FAN. Get 20% off plus free shipping of your estate documents by going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Go until 10 o'clock. Still have our Reindl report coming up. I agree. Dominic in our YouTube chat. Mike Schilt's reaction to the Jurickson news. This is perfect reaction.
Perfect.
I really liked the way Mike Schilt handled it. He has a lot of humanity, in behind those glasses and all the baseball talks and strategy. There is some humanity to Mike Schilt that I think
there's a lot of humanity, not some.
Yeah,
there's a ton.
I think players do really appreciate, and he connects with his players, and it resonates.
I mean, how do you not feel that way about Jurickson Profar? He summed it up exactly the way that I feel.
If you missed it, here's what Mike Schilt said right after finding out the news.
I literally just found out before I got out here, and I love Jurickson Profar no more or no less right now than I loved him an hour ago. I still love him, and I don't know the circumstances behind it, but I know the person it is, bro, and I love the guy.
Are you surprised by it? Considering everything that you do know about it, are you surprised by it?
I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, I'm surprised by it. I mean, I think, I mean, all I can tell you is I don't know the circumstances, so I'm not going to speak to it. All I can tell you is I love Profar, and I'll support him regardless.
That's
perfect.
That's the bond of Manny said the same thing essentially after the game too. He said he'll always be my best friend. I mean, the guy, he didn't kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like, took some HCG and was trying to get an advantage, and he got in trouble for it. Didn't kill anybody. Didn't beat up anybody. It's a weird. Baseball's a weird scene where again, a guy like Marcell Ozuna gets 20 games, Jurickson Profar gets 80. And we all saw the Marcell Ozuna tape. Which is worse? I think the Marcell Ozuna tape is way worse.
Honestly,
than what Jurickson Profar
I
did.
also believe there's a bit of a weird reaction from fellow players. Sure, the Braves are going to be disappointed and let down that Jurickson is going to miss 80 games and the playoffs. But there's also part of them that knows why he did it.
Of course.
He did it because he wants to be on the field and helping his team.
Of course.
That's why they all do it.
Yeah.
I don't think even Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds, I don't think they did it necessarily because I want to break records and I want to smash history. I think they did it because they are competitive and wanted to perform as well as they could for their team and their teammates.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of crazy because that does sometimes lead to record smashing performances when you can be on the field more because you have, used steroids and PEDs to recover in ways that people who aren't using them can't. So it's not fair. It's definitely an uneven playing field, and it should be regulated and it should be disciplined the way it is now. But it's not something that I think players view as evil or necessarily trying to get over on the rest of them.
No, I mean, look, it's not domestic violence. You know what I mean? That's something where it's like, hey, man, I don't know that I want you on my team. Like, you just beat your wife on video. That's not a guy that I'm like going to be stoked about welcoming back with open arms. But a guy that takes steroids and gets popped for it is not somebody I'm going to loathe on a personal level.
Yeah, Goose says, didn't Manny call Tatis dumb after he got popped? I don't remember his exact quote, but they all think that. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it, be smart about it. Don't get caught. Yeah. But they're more mad about you getting caught than they are about you,
of course,
actually taking steroids. Now, there's some guys, especially back in the 90s, like, hey, I'm trying to play the game clean, and you're taking food, money out of my pocket, my family's pocket by you're putting up better numbers, so I'm not getting the same contract. There is that element to it, but it's definitely been, I think, diminished more in recent years, and players are at least more tolerant, I think, of, the idea of that some guys do this just because they need to keep their careers going, or otherwise they wouldn't be able to recover.
Yeah, Adam Paul is actually right. I remember Barry Bonds, you saw what McGwire and Sosa were doing, and you wanted in on that. Again, I don't know.
Just like when you see torpedo bats, you kind of want in on that. Hey, if it works, I want to try that. Yeah, I want to do that. What's working for them can be working for us. Maggie, I don't think that's true, Ben. I could be wrong. It's just my impression that I've gotten over the years from talking to baseball players, and it's just how I think. I'm sure it's not a universal opinion.
No,
I'm sure they like all people. I'm sure they all view it a little bit differently, and some are probably very strongly against it and probably are outraged by Jurix and Profar testing positive. I just get the sense that a lot of them, maybe a majority of them, are like, yeah, I get it. Too bad for him. We'll move on.
It's like you've been embezzling money from Odyssey for years, and it's like what I tell you: just don't get caught. Do what you want. I don't judge you. I'm still going to love you. Paulie's still going to love you. The audience is still going to love you. You're our guy.
I don't even have a company credit card.
Just don't get caught in your embezzlement schemes. Is what I
don't even have a company card. How can you embezzle money?
I saw you back going through Adam's wallet, back on his desk, dude. Yeah, I mean,
you're not doing it because you're a bad guy.
No.
You're doing it because you want to be here for your team every day. You just want to drive here in a Lamborghini.
That's exactly right. You want not to pay for your gas and things like that. And I get it. There's a part of me that gets it. But just be careful when you do it. Okay.
But if you want to go back, we don't have to rehash our whole discussion. But what was 7:00 this morning? We shared all of our thoughts. I thought it was a good conversation about Jurickson and how we felt about it, and whether this taints any of his legacy from. Just don't raise your eyebrow. You can use the word taint in a completely different sense, Woods, than you use it.
I have a moral dilemma I wanted to bring up as I just vomit in my mouth like Ben. I got a text last night, Benjamin, from a former San Diego Padre, not somebody we've talked about a ton on this program, but I got a text at 8:02 p.m. And I want to know
Kevin Quackenbush.
No,
I'm just guessing.
But I wanted to know what I should do with this text. This is pretty fascinating. He says, not sure if you know anyone in the front office or you can go off script with AJ Preller, but me and some of my buddies are watching Kyle Hart pitch, and he is tipping pitches in his windup late.
Uh-oh.
And I said, no kid. I love baseball. I watch 1 billion games a year. I couldn't tell you if a pitcher was tipping if you put a gun to my head. I really couldn't. I can't tell at adult league. I can't tell anywhere. And by the way, if a pitcher's tipping, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Like,
I saw a side-by-side from like a spring training game a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, see, clearly he's tipping his pitch.
You're like, what?
They look the same.
So he says, I said, no kidding. What's he doing? He said, he's tipping. He said, I can see it from first base, the way he tucks his glove on his delivery. And I said, okay. And he said, you know more people in the organization. It's your info. And I go, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I think I would feel kind of like a buffoon if I texted that to AJ Preller and said, hey, just FYI. Also, like, if they're seeing it, Schulte, Ruben.
Well, but
if I knew Ruben well
the
enough.
Guardians seeing it, why weren't they teeing off? If
I know
they knew what was coming. Now, Kyle Hart is not Randy Johnson, but I saw recently that
he would tip on purpose.
Randy
almost.
Johnson tipped every single pitch. Didn't matter.
Did not matter.
Did not matter.
Chipper Jones said it.
Yeah.
Chipper Jones goes, I knew exactly when that dude was throwing a slider. I knew exactly when he was throwing a fastball. And
most of the time it didn't matter.
And he's like, I told him, hey, bro, you tipped. He's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm Randy Johnson. I throw 98 from the left side. I got a devastating slider.
I will say, don't text AJ.
Who would I text?
I don't know.
Should I text like Tony?
Maybe.
If Tony, if you're listening, will you just spread that? It's from a literal ex-big leaguer.
Someone.
He played in the big leagues.
What's up, my dudes? How you doing?
I'm assuming usually someone from the Padres organization is listening to this program.
Okay. So somebody passed
You now have that information inside the organization. It's now on you as to decide what to do with that.
Please let me clarify too. This is not from me.
Right.
I couldn't spot it in a lineup. I would never know. This is not me going, I think he's tipping his pitches. Somebody saw something, and I think it was the way he was doing his glove or whatever. And it was like, oh, here comes off speed. Oh, here comes fastball. Oh, here comes changeup. That's good info to have if they didn't notice it already. And listen, just because a guy is telling you what's coming, Ben, doesn't always mean they're going to get teed off on. But it may be something to notice. But for a split second, I thought, do I text this to AJ? And I said, no, that's a
Ruben.
I don't have his number. I would.
Yeah.
I follow him. He follows me on Instagram.
DM him on Instagram.
No, I might actually. Should I?
You can always just delete it. I mean, I don't think he's going to be mad at you.
Tell Mud. No, I feel embarrassed. I just feel embarrassed. What if Kyle Hart goes out and gives up 7, and then it's my fault?
And you didn't.
I didn't
no
tell
one said
anybody.
anything. That is kind of on you at that point.
Then it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Very, very weird.
Mutt's not the worst call. He's a pitcher. And, works for the organization.
Yeah.
It's not the worst call.
But I mean, again,
he can decide what to do with it.
I feel like
He's
they
big.
I feel like they would know it. I do. I feel like they'll have that info. It was a weird feeling though to get. I was like, oh, thanks for trusting me with this. Don't know what to do with it. I'm terrified.
Or maybe the person was just dead wrong and thought they saw something that they didn't.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, but him and his buddies that played in the big leagues are sitting there watching going, oh, yeah. He's tipping.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. We will get to the Rondell
What'd you
report. That's like I said, I think maybe texting like Mud or someone is not the worst idea, or Tony. That's a big leaguer who works in the organization, but is also in media, so it kind of relates to us at the same time.
Okay.
All right, Paulie, what do you have for us in the Rondell report?
We have some, I guess, breaking news in baseball.
Okay.
Somebody that the Padres maybe was on their radar over the last couple of years as an announcement.
Jurickson Profar?
Not Jurickson Profar.
Not breaking.
I was like, because we've already done that.
Old.
And men everywhere
you could take
rejoiced
Jake.
yesterday.
Jake works for the Padres.
Jake who?
Peavy works for the team. That was
No.
Nate's idea. All right. We will come back with the Rondell report.
You do it.
I don't have Jake's number.
You have Tony Gwynn Jr.'s number.
I do.
All right, you do it.
Coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right. 7 Mile Casino is San Diego's best card room. It is easy to get to on a day like this. It's kind of dreary. It's not an outside day. It's an inside day. Card playing. A great indoor activity on your cold, dreary days. And 7 Mile Casino is the place to play California-style blackjack, pie-gow poker, Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat.
Yeah, the environment is great too. You got to love where you're going. I mean, playing cards is always fun, but playing it in a place where you really don't feel like you should be, that's not so much fun. This does not feel like a dingy, dirty, dark card room because it isn't. It's a smoke-free environment. They got delicious food, drinks, friendly people, and it's a great atmosphere.
TVs all over the place. And on the nicer days, I mean, it's a covered patio, so you actually can go out on a day like this. You can look out. You might even see like Don on his mini yacht out there on the bay. Did you see he caught a yellowtail after the game last night?
I saw that.
That was crazy. He went after the game, that night game, went fishing, caught a yellowtail. You can actually see Don out from 7 Miles patio because it's right there on San Diego Bay on the west side of the freeway. So easy to get to. Such a great spot. It's our spot. Make it yours. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Again, with great power comes great responsibility, man.
I hate to have to issue corrections and retractions on this program, but
I'm so embarrassed.
I am incorrect. I apologize.
Yeah, it was
spreading bad.
It was a yellowfin croaker that Don caught last night.
Yellowtail croaker.
Yellowfin croaker.
Yellowfin croaker, not a yellowtail.
Not a yellowtail.
Which one's hamachi when I order it at the sushi restaurant? Because that's what I like. I like hamachi. That yellowtail or yellowfin?
I think that's yellowtail.
I think that's yellowtail.
Yeah.
I like the hamachi.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sushi?
That's probably it.
Really?
Yeah, probably the same.
I mean, good tuna belly, toro.
Yeah,
very,
toro's
very
good.
tasty, and a nigiri, just a piece of nigiri sushi. What about you, Paulie?
I like a dragon roll.
Dragon roll. Does that have shrimp in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just regular California roll.
All right.
Very simple.
Simple. And that's how we probably mostly got introduced. The imitation crab, avocado, wrapped in the rice.
I'll eat avocado in my rolls.
You will, because you're not an avocado guy. I love avocado everywhere.
I just don't smear it all over.
I didn't like sushi for a long time.
Same.
And then started getting into it. I'm like, oh, this is really good. But just, it's like ordering nothing but pepperoni pizza, like a California roll. You know what I mean? Like, I still am like a little bit nervous. Or I just don't know exactly. Like, I don't want to order something if I don't know exactly if I'm going to like it or
you
what
feel
it's gonna
a little
like.
bit like it's chicken tendies and mac and cheese when you go in and you're like, oh, let's do a California roll. Just keep it basic today.
It's definitely not the healthiest item. I love the crispy rice where they fry the rice and then put the spicy tuna.
So good.
And the avocado and use just some jalapeno on top of it. Ooh, yeah, that's a tasty app.
Save that whole thing just now what he just said. All of it.
Yeah. All right. Paulie's got the Rondo Report. Final headlines of the day right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic sponsored by your local San Diego County, the UPS stores. Got a few hazards wrapping up our morning drive. Some debris in middle lanes on southbound 15 before Rancho Bernardo Road. Also traveling on westbound King Freeway near Bancroft. Stall vehicle over the right shoulder. Another stall reported on northbound 163 near Washington Street. That's over the right shoulder. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from April 7th through April 15th. 50% off shredding services. Visit theupsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rondo Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Alrighty.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
We will start off in Major League Baseball. I was kind of teasing you a little bit earlier, but Lance Lynn is somebody that always found his name kind of connected to the Padres in some way over the last few years.
Like 7 years in a row, I feel.
Not quite as much as Joey Gallo.
No,
but,
right. Nobody as much as our beloved Joey Gallo. But Lance Lynn has an announcement to share. Earlier this morning, he made it via his wife's podcast, and I'm going to play about a minute of that for you right now.
So there's the update. I'm officially retiring from baseball right here, right now. But there might be a little something fun around the corner upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. But for Major League Baseball, I am done pitching.
Well, do you have any
nobody
final
tells me.
words for all of the people who've been watching you for the past 15 years?
We always joked, like, if I ever had a Hall of Fame speech,
Mm-hmm.
it would start and end with "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Right. But no, in all seriousness,
Dynamic.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed competing and all that, and I hope you did too. And if you enjoyed watching me play and cheered for me, thank you. And if you cheered against me, you are welcome, because you always need someone to root against, and you always need someone to root for.
Lance Lynn calling it a career. Look at his numbers. Not a bad pitcher.
No,
I mean,
man. He had some good years.
No Hall of Fame trajectory or
Now,
anything
this
like
wasn't
that. But
April Fool's. Is he April Foolsing us? Oh, just kidding. I'm signing with the
I guess
Diamondbacks.
it's possible.
I mean,
It is
his idea was maybe converting to a reliever.
Yeah, he was going to be a closer.
Yeah. But no takers during spring training.
The pitcher confirmed on his wife Diamond, her podcast, April Fool's Day. However, Lance Lynn was not joking, he said.
I mean, you got to file paperwork, so I don't know if that's been done or not. All the MLB reporters, everybody's saying, like, yeah, he has retired.
If I were him, I just saw a picture of his wife, I'd probably retire too.
Yeah,
Spend more time
stay
at
with
home.
her,
Yeah. Just
He
be
ends his,
around as much as I could be.
He ends his career with 143-99 win-loss record and a 3.74 ERA.
That's really, really solid, man. That's
Yeah.
very, very solid. I would also stay home with Diamond and podcast all the time.
Yeah, according to Baseball Reference, their Hall of Fame monitor statistics comes up well short of Hall of Fame level, but very good career. 30 WAR pitcher over his career.
Anthony Sandoval. Who are the 5 greatest podcasters of all time? Diamond, 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 and Diamond. I couldn't agree more.
I hope his big surprise that he said is not a broadcasting career.
There's the pitch, grounded to third.
You're welcome.
Thrown across. Got it.
Welcome.
All right. And, that's it for sports today.
Yeah.
We kind of hit everything else. A couple of news stories from the world of Hollywood. Men everywhere rejoicing yesterday with the news that Sydney Sweeney is back on the market. She is officially single and broken up with her former fiance. There was a report a couple months ago, maybe, I think we talked about it. The wedding had been postponed and the wedding has now been called off.
Good thing I'm going to the gym today. Good thing I just had this protein shake. Ben said earlier, we were talking, he goes, why does this affect your life, even in the slightest? And I go, you know what? I don't know. I don't know why.
You're like, I don't know why, but it does.
I don't know why it does.
You
But
could
it
be
does.
a single man living in the same neighborhood as her, and it still doesn't affect your life at all.
It could be your next door neighbor and her condo. How you doing, Sydney? You're single now. Yeah, don't even think about it.
She was engaged to a businessman, I believe he is,
Yeah.
Jonathan Davino.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just feel like that might be the biggest fumble
in
history.
Did you ever have that Notting Hill fantasy where you met a celebrity, like actress that you had a crush on?
Of course.
And somehow you end up
She fell in love with
dating,
me.
fell in love, and I'm just a boy
Standing in
asking
front of a
for
girl. Oh, Janine also says, good thing you're married. Also, you're right, Janine.
Of course.
Good thing I'm going to the gym, and good thing I'm married to my celebrity that I met. She's my Notting Hill. I don't know what Paulie thinks it's a fumble. Is it a fumble?
It's the definition of a fumble.
Why is it a fumble if you spent several years together and it didn't work out? I mean, they're not to be crass, but you're like, all right, well, I mean, she was mine. She was mine.
Could have been yours forever. Now she's going to be Pete Davidson's.
100%. Or Ben Higgins.
Ooh,
I saw the meme Paulie made back in the day of her on Hot. What's that show?
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones.
The spicy.
She's looking out that meme that went everywhere, and we just put your face right in there. I said, Sydney Sweeney is now single. I think we know why. Dreaming of our beloved Ben.
Affects my life least of all.
Right.
And then
your life less than mine or
Even
Paul's.
less than yours.
How so?
I don't know, but somehow it does.
You've lost all the weight. You're on TV and radio, multimedia.
Happy man. I'm a happy man.
Could be a happy man with Sydney Sweeney.
Correct.
And then we'll move on. We didn't talk about this yesterday. We have a ton of sports to get to from the weekend, but interesting scene on SNL over the weekend. Morgan Wallen, Woodsy's favorite, was the musical act on SNL. And it was, at face value, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you've watched SNL ever, you've seen at the end the host and the musical talent, they're standing on the stage with the whole cast behind them, and they say thank you, and then the camera pans out while the credits roll, and they all stay on stage and they hug the cast members, shaking hands, etc. Well, everybody noticed right away that Morgan Wallen couldn't even wait for the thanks for watching. He was walking right off the stage, could not be out of there quick enough.
I thought originally he may have to go to the restroom. That happens.
Thompson thought
that happens to me a lot. You guys know that, where I'm like, guys, I got to go. I did it at the broadcast. I do it in this show.
Yeah. And
when
then
I got to go, I got to go.
An Instagram story from Morgan Wallen, minutes later, of a private jet in New York, and it said, "Get me to God's country." And everyone's wondering what the hell happened.
What was your deal, man?
You don't need to be rude.
He had been hired, and I mean,
did they get
invited.
paid? Do you get paid for that?
I don't know that they do.
I don't know that they do. I think it's exposure.
So I don't want to
he's
say
doing it for the
hired.
exposure. He does it. They get the benefit of having him on.
Yeah.
He's not
He had
under
been
any
invited
obligation to sit around, but his job's done.
He had been invited several times, and then they cancel it because he dropped an N-bomb or was arrested or any of the other things that's wrong with Morgan Wallen. And so everyone's like, what the hell is going on? And then some person that was there told People Magazine or one of those outlets, I was at the taping and Lorne Michaels was not very nice to Morgan Wallen. So maybe he was upset with that.
Could happen.
I don't know.
Could happen. Man, I
just feel like if you're there, you can't wait 30 more seconds.
It's literally 30 seconds, but
I mean, just for appearances, even if you don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it is awkward just to walk right off when everyone's still. You're on camera. You're on live television.
Yeah,
you could just stand there and glad hand for a moment.
Look,
it's not going to kill you.
I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan by any stretch. Not at all.
Really?
Not even a little.
I could have sworn you loved Morgan Wallen.
This person said, I was at this taping when Morgan came up to the stage. Lorne turned his back and walked away. They claimed it was obvious and purposeful.
So why hire him in the first
Good point
place?
too.
You know,
Right. I mean, if you're going to come, you can be there.
Yeah.
Might as well treat them. They're your special musical guests. Treat them nicely.
Sure. But he's got a new double album coming out, which is essentially that's also me waiting for the asteroid to hit. A double album of Morgan Wallen. I'm praying for it to happen any day. I've heard a little bit of it. Were they playing that at the baseball game the other day? It sounded like it. Yeah, I think they did it on purpose. We were playing a game, Ben, on Sunday, and I went out to my position at first base, and they were blasting who I think was Morgan Wallen behind me as I was throwing balls to the infield. And I was like, are they trolling me because they know I hate Morgan Wallen? If so, it's pretty brilliant. But I did not pay it any mind. He's just not a fan of Morgan Wallen. That's fine though if you are. I love you anyway. I'm like with Jerks and Profar. I'm not going to love you any less.
Let's see. Thank you, Paulie.
Thank you, Paulie. Brandon says seems like Ben is annoyed with Woods. Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't hide it as well at the end of the show.
What did I do to annoy
Nothing.
you? Just trying to be dynamic and have some fun in here.
I think the accusing me of stealing from Adam's wallet was probably today's last straw. But
the embezzlement.
You're just mad you
but
got
we'll
caught.
be fine tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I told you, do whatever you want. I
I'll
don't
forgive you.
I
That's
don't mind that you're stealing from Adam. Just be careful with it and don't get caught.
I didn't mention it yesterday, but nice start for Stephen Kolek in his first appearance at El Paso. 5 shutout innings for the Chihuahuas on Sunday in a 13-2 win over Sacramento. Jonathan Perlaza, home run, 6 RBI. Tirso Ornelas, 3 for 4. I think they were off yesterday. I believe this week the rest of the minor leagues get started. So AAA was underway. Now we get the rest. AA, San Antonio, Single A, Fort Wayne, low Single A, Lake Elsinore, getting their season started as well. So we'll have more Padres minor league updates for you going forward.
We're going to talk to our pal Clark Fahrenholt this week and get the full update on what's going on in the Padres minor leagues. I want to make sure that we are on top of that because actually there's some guys that are going to be able to help this team this year. And Clark from Mad Friars is going to help us kind of sort that out and what guys are going to do and what guys we can expect to see and who's gotten off to good starts and whatnot. We talked a little bit about Campy, got off to a good start down there. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, I'm about off to face my second day of my new schedule.
How'd it go? We should have talked about it in the open.
It was good. I mean, I had fun. It felt like a long day, just different. I kept asking everyone around 2:30, like, when do we all take our 30-minute nap?
Yeah. You think you can get one?
Around here? Because it's I'm tired now. I'm not used to this. Is usually my downtime in the middle of the day. But ultimately got to talk about Jackson Merrill, did a couple of stories. Today, I think we're going to focus on Padres' hot start, obviously.
Well, and you got home at 6:30.
And I got home. Yeah, there was no traffic. I couldn't believe it. There was no knock on. Well, I'm not even a knock on wood. I know that's not going to hold.
Right.
Yeah, I left right before 6 and got home at 6:30. It was crazy. No traffic going up the 5 at all.
So you basically had a 5:30 to 6:30 day.
Peloton, watched the game, had dinner at home.
Got a good night's sleep.
Not my usual schedule. Got a really good night's sleep. Didn't even need my alarm to wake up this morning.
Incredible.
So we'll see. Like I said, some good things here as well.
He was ahead of me on the freeway. I saw him and I passed him at like 100 miles an hour because I did not want him to beat me to work again.
But then I pulled in and you waited for him.
I did.
Nice.
Well, I love you. You know that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right. That is just about all of our time for today. Braden is coming up next. Woodsy, where are you going? Are you Morgan Walling us? You've already left the stream. Are you walking out the studio? You can't even stay for the last 30 seconds of this live program that you get paid to be on every single day. You can't even stay for the last 30 seconds.
Get me to God's country, a.k.a. my gym and PB. All right?
That's it for us. For executive producer Paul Reindl and the aforementioned Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy Jesse and the Incorporator tonight. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.